What's up, deliberately destructive Dexterites? Tonight's the night, and it'll happen again and again until we've seen all of season 1 of Dexter Resurrection. I am your host, Spencer, joined by Nick Henderson from the Dexter Daily and the 4-Player Podcast. Tonight we are talking about episodes 3 and 4 of Dexter Resurrection, and what an insane couple of episodes they are. All of our links are down in the description if you'd like to check them out. We got Twitter, we got Discord, we got Patreon, where you can check out our regular episodes where we talk about books and interview authors and all that kind of stuff. You get to see that way ahead of when YouTube sees it. Also down there is all of Nick's links. I almost said lick sninks. And, all his stuff is down there. He hosts the 4-Player Podcast. They talk about video games. It's a podcast that I listen to regularly. And they have a Patreon as well. But also, if you didn't know, Nick is one of the writers for the Dexter Daily, which is where you can get all of your Dexter news and theories and all sorts of really cool articles. Highly recommend checking that out. But with all that out of the way, we're going to get straight into it because we have a lot to talk about tonight. I didn't have a black hat, but I had a black Zelda hoodie and I had shades. So
I was gonna ask, are you going for the Unabomber look? Like okay,
yeah.
nicely
How do I
done.
look?
Now, that's close enough. That's all I'll say. It's close enough.
Right. How are you doing, Nick?
Not bad. I was actually sick yesterday for like literally 24 hours.
Oh,
I
geez.
was sick. So I basically lost half a weekend. So that kind of sucks.
It's too bad.
But it is what it is. I gave blood on Friday night after work.
Oh,
and my theory
why?
is that I didn't rehydrate enough, fast enough, and then I went to bed, and then the next day I just paid for it all day. I was useless. So I'm just gonna say, anybody out there considering donating blood, take the hydration thing seriously, because it basically killed me for a day. And as soon as we start recording this, my cat wants to get out of the room desperately.
Yeah,
so
I think I can hear it. I'll let you get your cat. Hi, kitty.
I don't even know why I have the doors closed. My wife's out of town right now, so
there you go.
Mine, so
yeah,
it's just habit. Anyways,
you had the same experience that many had in Original Sin with the blood drive.
Yeah, but he gave 2 pints of blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gave 1 pint of blood and didn't, because usually when I do it in like the middle of the day, and then I have like a big lunch, and then I have a big dinner, and I'm rehydrating for this day. But I went after work for the first time, gave blood, had dinner, and then basically a couple hours later I went to bed, and I probably didn't drink enough water. And then the next day was just gone. Just couldn't function.
Is this something you do regularly? I don't think I've ever actually donated blood.
I'm doing it more regularly than I mean, this is honestly my 3rd or 4th time ever doing it. My wife does it on the regular.
Really?
She kind of got me into it, and so
okay.
I'm still kind of a newbie at it, but this was
just to help out, or
I mean, and I'm not gonna lie, they also have incentives and stuff. Like if you donate blood in the month of July, like this month, they're giving out Alamo Drafthouse tickets. So if you donate blood, you get a free ticket.
Sweet.
So I mean, I'm doing it to help out because that's the main purpose of doing it. But sometimes they incentivize it with things like that. So it's like, oh well, might as well. And it's right next to this really amazing taco place we have here in Austin. So our usual routine is we go donate blood, and then we go gorge ourselves on tacos. So it works. It's
interesting.
Nice thing.
Okay. Maybe I'm a bad person, but I've never even thought about donating blood. That's never even crossed my mind.
I mean, it's not something I had ever really thought about much either until my wife was doing it a lot, and she was like, "You should come next time." And I was like, "Sure, why not?"
Yeah.
So
okay, cool.
You never know.
Nick, we do need to talk about something. I have found out that you're cheating on me.
What?
I guess this is an open relationship, huh? You were on
Oh,
you're on Dissecting Dexter recently. I was very proud to see you on Dissecting Dexter with Gareth.
hmm
That episode is also linked in the description. But I know you've been on there before, but good for you. That's awesome.
yeah. It's probably my third or fourth time on that show. It's probably my favorite Dexter podcast. I've been
Yeah.
listening to it since I don't know. I think he started doing the show like around season 6 when it first started airing, and or
Okay. Yeah,
maybe he was
he
even
said
earlier than
like
that.
15 years or something. He says it's been
Yeah,
going for
yeah.
15 years.
Yeah, and when the show is not airing new episodes, he
Sure.
does like he goes back and does the rewatches and does episodes on those
Yeah.
at a bit of a slower pace. But
Yeah.
um, you know, I've loved that show, and I think Gareth's an amazing host. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I've actually already been on a podcast to talk about episode 3 a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're
for
gonna talk
sure.
about 3 and 4 tonight. So
Yeah,
I guess
you're
we're gonna.
you're all primed to buzz through episode 3, and for anybody watching or listening or whatever, we are kind of planning on trying to keep these down to a more manageable time frame because Nick is 2 hours ahead of me,
Mhm.
and so we're trying to be respectful of your time and his time and everything. I don't care. I'll sit here for 4 hours. I don't give a shit. I got nothing going on. But yeah, so we're gonna try to zip through episode 3. Not that it wasn't a good episode, but episode 4, I I finished it minutes before we hopped on here,
Yeah.
and I literally think it's one of the best episodes of television I've seen in years and years and years and years. There was not a single moment in the episode where I was not on the edge of my seat and glued to the screen. So
Enthralled, yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
right from the get go, it is full throttle, baby.
I think it
Um,
is. I think it is hands down one of the greatest episodes of the entire series.
yeah, yeah,
And it is, and it's before the halfway point of the season.
yes,
It's honestly
jeez,
it's honestly like they've set the bar too
so
high.
high. I
Yeah,
know,
like
I
I'm sure
know.
there's good stuff to come. I know there's good stuff to come, but like,
Yeah,
damn, it's all gonna be everything. Like every episode after this is gonna be kind of compared to
compared
this.
to it, yeah,
So we'll see. But yeah, episode 3 is a great episode, but it's still kind of
it,
like
it doesn't hold a
it's
candle to
it
episode
doesn't quite
4.
hold a candle to 4, and I'm saying that as someone who rated episode 3 very highly. In fact, I did my review on Dexter Daily last week. I gave it a 9.5, I think, out of 10.
Yeah,
Um, I thought it was a fantastic episode, and it kind of had all the elements of a Dexter episode that I really like, and had some really cool moments.
yeah,
Um, but this episode 4 is like new territory,
yeah,
and
completely
on
new
top
territory.
of having like a lot of the elements of a really good Dexter episode that everybody loves. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's got a really amazing mix, and it was also over an hour long. It's the longest episode of the entire series. I'm pretty sure that it
oh,
has a. I don't think there's an episode
interesting.
longer than this. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure
Sure.
it's the longest runtime of the entire series. It almost felt like I
Wow.
watched half of a movie.
Yeah, same.
Um,
That's a good. And the way that I've been describing this new season to people is and I can't remember if you and I talked about this or not, but it's extremely cinematic. The
mhm,
way the way that it's shot is very different than New Blood or the original series, in my opinion.
mhm,
A lot of people say I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, Dexter's going back to its roots in a lot of ways," and I kind of don't feel that way. But I'm not like upset about that. Like it doesn't need to feel like the original series for me.
mhm.
And I think that just in the way that it's shot, and even in the way that the actors are doing their job, it really feels every week feels like a movie. Just it's very cinematic.
Yeah,
Um,
no, it
and
is.
then with episode 4, I don't know if we've ever seen this many people on Dexter's case, and it really, I mean, they don't really know that they're on Dexter's case except for maybe Angel, but you know, then you add Harrison into the mix and people are on his case too. We'll talk about that, but
Hmm.
it's just a lot of tension and a lot of like this is what I would expect from a movie.
Yeah,
It feels like the Dexter movie.
yeah. I completely agree. I think when people talk about this kind of recapturing the spirit of the original series, I think, at least in my mind, anyways, I think it has more to do with like the characterization of Dexter,
Sure, sure.
and kind of how they're. It's almost like because in a lot of ways, I think this is actually a really interesting like approach they're taking, in the sense that like he almost died, and you think about like the way normal people react to having near death experiences, right? And like how it gives
Yeah.
them like a new lease on life, and his his reaction is very similar to what a normal person's would be, in that it's like it makes you realize how precious your time on earth is, and
Mhm.
how much time you realistically have to like enjoy your life.
Mhm.
And but through the lens of someone like Dexter, it's like he's kind of getting back in touch with his true self, his true nature, and
Well,
in this.
Gareth had mentioned this in the episode that you were in, and I
Mhm.
can't remember if it was while you were on the podcast with him or if it was in
And the
his like
feedback.
little afterward thing he does. If you haven't gone, Nick, to listen to the afterward, you should.
Mhm.
But at some point he talks about how Dexter Dexter, we have a near death experience, and it kind of makes us look at the world in the way you're describing. And Dexter has kind of been unchanging. He's kind of been the same person. Like he's had changes and stuff, but uh, he's kind of stuck in the way that he thinks and views the world and stuff. And Gareth was posing the question of, you know, what does a near death experience do to a serial killer, right? Like
Yeah.
what, like how different is that than what it would be for you or I? Um, and I think that's really interesting because there are times when I'm watching this season where I'm kind of like I don't want to say it doesn't feel like Dexter. It just feels like a different Dexter, which
Oh,
isn't a bad thing.
I think he's definitely different, but I also
Hmm.
think he is maybe closer to the Dexter that we met in the pilot of the original series than
Yes.
he has
Yeah.
been in a
Good
very
point.
long time. Like he I think well, I think everything changed for him after Rita died.
Yeah.
And there was a moment in season 6, kind of at the beginning, where it almost felt like he had reset and like found peace with everything.
Hmm.
And then obviously that was short lived, because then everything went off the rails when Deb found out, and
Hmm.
yada yada yada. And then he went into self imposed isolation for 10 years, where he hated himself and he hated what his way of life did to the people around him. And then he kind of, he relapsed,
Yeah.
which is what New Blood was about.
Right.
And he kind of hated himself for relapsing, and but he very much it very much felt like it was an addict situation in New Blood, and he was there was a lot of like self-loathing going on there because of that, and the effect it was having on Harrison. Um, so now he has survived his his encounter in with Harrison in Iron Lake. He has realized it's kind of a miracle that he's even alive, and he's in this new place. He's come across this really weird opportunity, and he is just kind of like, I who knows how much time I have left. I'm tired. He even says it in episode 4. He says, I'm tired of being careful. I'm tired
Yep.
of being he's like he just wants to be himself. Um and that's kind of, I think, a theme of the season, and the result of him wanting to be himself and be true to himself is that he's kind of reset in a lot of ways. But at the same time, he's still a father, and
I
he's
was gonna
still,
say, yeah.
yeah, so like he's gone back to like embracing his like lust for killing, but at the
Yeah.
same time, like, he's not going to hide from it anymore. And at the
Mm.
same time, he also is like, but I am a father and I do care about my son and I am going to try and do right by my son, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to do it at the expense of
Mm.
myself. Which places him somewhere kind of very different than we've
Yeah.
ever seen him before.
Very
Um,
different.
yeah.
And,
So,
speaking of his son, just a couple quick general thoughts I have before we move into episode 3. I wrote this note down before I saw episode 4.
mhm.
So I don't know if anything has really changed with Harrison. But, Gareth kind of touched on this in the dissecting Dexter episode as well. Um, but Harrison has a moment where he does a very Dexter thing, and he tells the detective that he's been staying in vacant hotel rooms. And, Gareth notes in dissecting Dexter that, this was something that Dexter would do where, when someone was about to catch him in a lie, he would tell a truth that isn't really the main truth that they're looking
Yeah.
for, but it is a truth that they can follow and is like an alibi and has legitimacy and everything. And
Truth
so,
adjacent.
yeah, truth adjacent. And,
Yeah.
how many times did we see Dexter do the exact same thing?
Yeah.
And so
It,
it's really interesting to see Harrison, like he's got his dad in him, like he just
yeah.
does.
And I think what's interesting about, I think what makes it Harrison an interesting character, or what I really like about the character and kind of the arc that he's been on as an adult,
Hmm.
is that he is a lot like his father, but the reason he ended up like his father actually has nothing to do with being raised by his father. It has more to do with the fact that he was forced to, um, that he had these like issues, these, for lack of a better term, these daddy issues, because he thought he was
Hmm.
abandoned,
Yeah.
and he was forced to kind of to fend for himself and take care of himself as he
Yeah.
after Hannah died and everything. So like he ended up becoming very street smart and very adept at handling law enforcement and just people around him who might pose a threat to him, but it
That's
has nothing
true.
to do with watching his father. um,
No, I don't think it has anything to do with watching his father, but doesn't it feel like it's just in his genes? Like
I
doesn't it
mean,
feel like he's, like
to an
just
extent, yeah,
biologically he's his father's son, and he just kind of
yeah.
has these mannerisms and maybe this mind that works in a certain way. And
I
I
mean, yeah, I think there's definitely an argument to be made there, and I think it's a really interesting thought, and I like that it's being presented in such a way that it's not trying to definitively tell you that that's what's happening here.
right.
There's multiple explanations for that, but they all kind of make sense. The end result is the same, that
Hmm.
Harrison is very similar, but also very different from his
Yeah,
father in a lot of
he
ways.
is.
And I think that's what makes, like, they could have so easily
Made
just
Dexter
been like, yeah,
2.0.
yeah, make Dexter 2.0 and like see if they can sell it to an audience just so they can continue basically making Dexter for years and years and years. And
Hmm.
luckily they didn't go that route. And I think Harrison is becoming his own person, but he's
Hmm.
also obviously influenced by his father, and that influence is going to continue to grow. Um,
Well, on that note, with them, the possibility of making Dexter for years and years and years, the rest of my note here says, he tells the detective that he's been staying in vacant hotel rooms, and the show is going out of its way to make us like Harrison more in this season than it did in New Blood. I almost guarantee that they're setting up Jack Alcott to take on a new series. I bet that this is a test run, and if they can get the audience to like Jack Alcott as Harrison, then they'll do a spin-off series. I think they saw the general dislike, not mine, but the internet's dislike of Alcott as Harrison in New Blood, and maybe took the gas off that spinoff, because they were going to do a Harrison spinoff, and then it got kind of quietly canceled for now. Um,
well, the
and so,
Resurrection was originally New Blood season 2, and it was Harrison's story. Like I think they always had the intention, especially after they realized that New Blood was a like success, that they wanted to continue it. And the only logical way to do that at the time was to put make Harrison the forefront of it.
Protagonist, yeah.
Um,
Do you think they do like a true spin-off series, like after, we get to the end of Resurrection and Dexter dies or gets caught or walks off into the sunset or whatever happens with him? Do you think that over 3 seasons or whatever it ends up being, they can get us to, I mean, I loved Harrison from the very beginning, but if they can get the audience to care for Harrison and see him as a character, I think, the reason why we all got so hooked on Dexter is because there was almost a formula to the way that Dexter thought about the world. He had a code. He would, track someone down and stalk them and find out about them and then prove their guilt. And then he would go on the hunt, and then we get the kill scene. And if they can get Harrison as a character to the point where we're seeing this develop and we're seeing him have his own code or his own even if he's not killing people
processed.
all the time, yeah, if he's got his own like process or just like an episode structure,
if he's channeling his darkness in his own way, I think is
yeah. Do you think do you think we see more of him?
I mean, honestly, at this point, because I think when they were originally planning on doing New Blood season 2 with Harrison, I think this is kind of conjecture because it's not 100% confirmed, but I believe the rumor is that they had completed basically all the scripts for an entire season of a show starring Harrison, and they had plans.
Yeah.
When Michael C. Hall showed interest in wanting to come back, they scrapped those plans. And they went in favor of putting Harrison and Dexter together and telling a story. Now, the plan up until this point has been, because like Chris McGrath, the co-CEO of Paramount, who is now departing Paramount, but his role at Paramount has very much been to kind of like build out these shows into like multi-series thing. He did the same thing with Yellowstone, if you're familiar. Like there's like 4 or 5 spinoffs of that.
Yeah. Great
series.
Series.
He did the same thing with Dexter, and I believe that's still the plan. I think the specifics of that plan have changed quite dramatically since Michael C. Hall agreed to come back. So if you ask me, I would say it's probably more likely that Harrison's development going forward will remain in Resurrection and maybe even be tied up in Resurrection, and the future of the series beyond Resurrection is Original Sin.
Sure.
And there are other spin-offs that are heavily rumored. Lady Vengeance is kind of the one that everybody seems to think is the front runner for getting a spin-off of her own. And then there's that Trinity prequel, which I still feel weird about, but apparently they have
dumb.
But apparently they
don't do it.
But apparently they have scripts for it. So like,
wow, okay.
Like I'm saying, like they have the entire season figured out. Like they've written everything.
You guys mentioned Bates Motel on Dissecting Dexter.
I've never seen it.
What?
Never seen it. Yeah. No.
Oh, you have to watch Bates Motel. You would love it.
I know. It's on my list. I'm going to very soon, probably.
Oh man.
But yeah. As far as like the future of Dexter goes, I mean, I think they can do a ton with Harrison, and I think Harrison in a lot of ways is I think they were setting him up to be just as important to this series as Dexter himself. So like, I'm cool if this is Harrison's thing. In fact, I kind of want them to get to a point. When Resurrection ends, I kind of want it to be them tying off the timeline, right? I want that to kind of be the end of the timeline. Original Sin, they can do it. They have 15 years worth of story they could tell there. Right. And I do think this character in this story, and even Harrison's character, I think they all deserve an ending. So I think the longer you let it go, the longer you let the timeline go forward, the riskier it becomes, because you're running the risk of getting to a point where an ending becomes impossible. So
I'd be good with it either way. I think if they wrapped up Harrison's story in Resurrection, I'd be fine with that. But I also think it's kind of an interesting idea for them to build up Harrison as a character that's maybe not like a serial killer or whatever, but maybe make him, have some sort of process or code, and then they could just continue the series with him, just like the original Dexter series.
Yeah, it's
Um,
possible.
but yeah, I'd be
And
happy with it all wrapping up in Resurrection. But we gotta move on. So my other note here, real quick, is that the guy that played Red, I
Mark
just
Menchaca,
yeah, I did not like him as an actor. I thought he
really?
was written well. I thought like the writing around it was fine. But anytime he was in a scene, I was like this the scenes weren't bad or whatever, but it was just like I don't know. I was just kind of like I,
I like the actor a lot. I don't know. Is this your first time seeing him in a role
yeah,
before?
probably.
Uh, so you haven't watched Ozark then? It sounds like.
Oh, was he in Ozark? Was
Yeah,
he
he's
in
in
the
the
later
first.
seasons?
No, he's in the
Oh,
first season and maybe even the second. I don't remember exactly. Maybe just the
okay.
first season. I don't
I
remember.
I saw three
Um,
seasons of Ozark.
yeah, yeah. He was the I can't remember the characters' names at this point because it's been so long since
Sure.
I watched it. But
Yeah, it's been
he
forever.
was one of the two brothers of the girl, the main character, kind of
Oh,
like the hillbilly brothers, and he was the one
yeah.
that was like secretly gay, and the FBI agent
Yeah.
was yeah. Um,
Okay.
so I think he's a really good actor. I will say this about Mark Menchaca's character of Red in this. The only thing I'll say, because I liked him, I thought he was really menacing in episode 2 at the beginning when they showed him like sawing off that dude's head at
Yeah.
the
Yeah, yeah.
beginning. Um, like I and beyond that, he didn't have a lot of screen time. I mean, like where he
No,
had
it
like
was
spoken
mostly
lines.
his scene on the table that I was just like the things he was saying was just kind of stilted like
I
uh
think that kill scene is
yeah,
maybe. I just didn't.
bottom tier.
I was not a huge
Bottom
fan of the
tier.
kill scene.
Yeah.
And that's not to say it was bad. I just think they're like especially like we're talking like the new kind of era of Dexter. I immediately compare for me. I immediately compare every kill scene to the Matt Caldwell kill scene in the first episode of New Blood, or the Kurt
Mm,
Caldwell kill scene at the end of New Blood.
yeah.
I think those are both like top tier, amazing kill room scenes, and this one didn't have the magic.
Right.
And I think
Yep.
some of that has to do with some of the dialogue that was written for Red. And I think honestly, some of the dialogue that was written for Dexter in the scene wasn't
Mm,
amazing,
sure.
but it was fine. Like it was definitely still a really fun scene to watch, and the whole
Yeah.
episode I think was a fun episode. Um, well, did you have any other notes general notes you wanted to go over before we talk about episode 3? I suppose.
Oh, we can talk about this at the end, I guess. But the other note I have here is what are Prater's rules? We know two of them. Don't
Well,
ask
I
for
guess
more money, and don't jeopardize the group. But we can talk about that later if you want. But
I don't
it
think
was
they've
it was
been
just a
super
thought.
specific about it. It's just kind of like I would imagine that killing one of the people in the group is
Sure,
probably against the rules. You know what I
probably
mean?
against the rules.
Unless it's Charlie doing it because they broke one of the other rules.
Right.
Um, but yeah. So to your point, we're gonna kind of blow through episode 3 a little fast.
Yeah.
I want to
Yep.
hit the high point. I want to hit the high points because there are some
Yep.
definite high points.
Yep.
Um, in this episode, like because there was also some like housekeeping I think they still have to do to kind of like really set up everything for this new series and this new setting and everything. Like you have to answer certain questions because they can't just jump into it without touching on those things. The first one being like, what is Dexter's role in this new city? Like, what is he doing for like how is he living?
Yeah.
And making him a rideshare driver is the funniest.
I know.
And like I love it. I fucking love it. It makes so much sense because it gives them opportunity to like meet people and stalk people, have excuses to go places. Basically gives them an excuse to be anywhere.
Yeah.
Um and but like using that to kind of like like that opening sequence where he's realizing that it's not as easy as he
Mm-hmm.
thought it was, is
Right.
comedy gold.
So
Like
good.
I loved him like pulling out his phone. He's like, 3 out of 5 stars, not
Oh,
bad.
it's not
and
bad.
then
Yeah.
and then Blessing losing his mind because
It's
he
like,
got 3 out of 5
no.
stars. Amazing,
Oh,
amazing.
so good. And
Um,
by the way, what's the name? Do you know the name of episode 3? Do you remember?
uh, yes, it is Backseat Driver.
Backseat Driver. Thank you.
Backseat Driver. Um, which another great episode title. I think they've been
Yeah.
really kind of killing it with the episode titles this season.
Yeah.
Um, and they also kind of, on the housekeeping thing, they quickly have to kind of establish how is he getting back into the swing of things, how is he doing his stuff,
Yeah.
and that leads us straight into him getting M99 again.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
Not
cool. This is
not
also
ketamine.
not ketamine. Look, everybody loves to bring that shit up, and it drives me fucking crazy because it's like every time that comes up, I'm like, people use some critical thinking here. Like, he used ketamine because it was convenient for him in Iron Lake. He was flying by the seat of his pants. He was adapting.
I think people had
And
more of a problem with Angela finding it wasn't that he used ketamine, it was
but
that
even
Angela.
that is there is a obvious explanation for that makes this whole argument just kind of like,
Oh,
I don't know.
what's that? Well, real quick, I'd love to hear the answer to that. Because I don't
Ketamine.
know.
First of all, what she did when she was researching was she typed in a few keywords into either, I can't remember if she was on Google or a database search or whatever. She was looking up information about murders that happened in Miami, and she
Sure.
was using keywords for things that she was associating with her crime scene in Iron
Mm-hmm.
Lake into a Google search. And the way Google searches or internet web browser searches work is they basically they take the keywords that you've provided, they scroll through the internet, and they look for any mention of that, and they kind of rank it based on relevance or how many times it shows up or whatever it may be.
Sure.
She typed in the word ketamine.
Yeah.
When you think about it, what she was looking at was news articles about the Bay Harbor Butcher, about all the bodies they found at the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
And there is any number of reasons why the word ketamine may have shown up anywhere in those articles. Like, especially depending on what information the police would have shared with the public about the bodies that had been found. Like, they could have said, the police could have shared that the bodies show signs of having been drugged and not named the drug. And then people writing these articles for the newspaper are saying, it could be a drug. We don't know what it is. They're being it could be ketamine. It could be this. It could be that, right?
Sure.
And all it would have to do is the word ketamine shows up in one of these articles and it came up. Is it a bit of I mean, they didn't obviously think it was a big enough deal to like explain that.
Yeah.
I think they were kind of expecting people to kind of put 2 and 2 together on that. But apparently people were taking that whole thing to mean that the article said he used ketamine in Miami, like it was a retcon, and it wasn't. It never said anything about that. You don't even see the part that she reads where it says anything about ketamine. It just says she types in the word ketamine, and this article came up. Any number of reasons that could have happened.
Sure.
Not to mention, not to mention all those bodies found at the bottom of the ocean, which had been there for years and years and years. It probably was pretty difficult. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but I would imagine it's probably pretty difficult to, at that point, determine exactly what was used to drug them.
Yeah.
So, like, it could have just been like on a report somewhere. It says, well, it could have been this or it could have been ketamine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
who the heck
that's
knows?
fair.
So, like, it's just like people got so hung up on that. It drives me crazy. Sorry, that's my rant. I'll try not to.
No, that's fair. I'm glad you explained it because I never really thought about it like that. So
that's my rant. I'll get off my soapbox for now.
Okay.
But of course, yes, they do the M99 thing here.
Yes.
And
so good.
It's so good. It's also connective tissue with Original Sin and with the original series because he uses the name, the alias Patrick Bateman,
yes,
in the original series to secure ketamine. And it was kind of a nice little touch to have him like, oh, it looks like you haven't ordered this in a long time, or it looks like you're starting your practice back up. And he's just, and it's just like, I'm getting back.
If I can make my way in New York, like,
you know,
if the city doesn't eat me, kind of thing.
Yeah, clever nod, and I really like that. And
very good.
Yeah. So where else? Where do we go from here? So Harrison getting interrogated.
Yes.
Good scene.
Yeah.
I continue to really like Claudette.
Yeah.
I don't yet remember the name of her partner because he hasn't played a huge role yet.
I know.
um, and I mean, comparatively speaking, he probably won't play a huge role compared to Claudette. But I
Right.
like the pair. I like their dynamic.
Yeah.
But Claudette is sharp and
I'm
clearly
glad.
on the spectrum, I would imagine.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they haven't made her partner like a bumbling idiot. Like I feel
Yeah.
like it's a common trope for to have like this genius and then their partner's kind of like the brawn and like kind of like the bumbling idiot, especially in a modern television male female dynamic.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm glad that he's not dumb by any means. It's just that she's so
He
far
knows his
ahead.
place. He
Yeah.
knows his place.
Yeah.
He supports her and he is the buffer that she
Right.
needs between her and like real
He
normal
he talks
people.
her down. He talks her down
He
from
talks her down and he
getting too crazy.
translates for her to like
Yeah.
regular people who don't quite understand her idiosyncrasies. And I think
Such a good dynamic.
I think it's really great. They have a really funny moment in episode 4
Mm.
where he's talking about like you need to like find other hobbies or whatever. And she's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I gave speeches because she's trying to talk her out of like being
Yeah.
obsessed with serial killers and stuff. And she's like, I gave a speech. I did a talk. And he's like, oh, what was your talk about? And she's like, the New York Ripper.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
And it was right after he had said, he's like, you got so obsessed with that New York Ripper case and like you went in way too deep on that. And then like the other hobbies, oh, what was it on? It's hilarious. It's so good.
I really like her. And also I've seen some people kind of like annoyed by like the like the headphones and the music thing. I think it's really endearing. But what's funny to me, the funniest thing to me about it is like it's not that she listens to music while she like puts together crime scenes. It's that she listens to the same fucking song
right
every time. Like it's a bit and I like it, and it kind of like she is the Will Graham of Dexter. That's the Harrison or not Harrison, Hannibal reference if you're not familiar.
Yeah.
Which again I've said this to you many times. I'll watch Bates Motel the moment you watch Hannibal. How's that?
Okay.
But yeah, this interrogation scene was really, really good. And she is sharp.
Yeah.
She is nailing everything on the head.
Yep. She absolutely does.
And then let's see.
Were you bummed? Were you bummed that we didn't see more come up on Dexter's report, his background check?
His background check.
I don't know what she would have found, but I was hoping that it would explain a little bit of what happened between, the season 8 and New Blood, like how he, went to the Pacific Northwest and then he went to. Well, I guess he would have changed his name as soon as he left Miami. So
yeah. His background check basically says he lived in Miami until 2013 and then disappeared off the face of the earth.
Right.
And until Batista went and legally resurrected him, it probably would have said if he hadn't done that, it probably would have said he's deceased. But since that's been undone,
yeah, for sure.
Say that. So there's a huge gap in his history. So it was interesting, and it was kind of a nice segue. It was like another tool he's going to probably use. I would imagine he's probably going to use it multiple times to like learn about his victims. See, it is what it is. But I continue to really like Blessing and his family. It's a really lovely dynamic, and that dinner scene is really good. But it leads to him being hooked up with Blessing's daughter, who is an acupuncturist, which I think was great. That's twice in the same season that Dexter has ended up on a table and commented on the fact that he's not used to being in that position.
Right.
Which is good, but it also just kind of speaks to the fact that like the show has been really good so far at acknowledging Dexter is aging and he has physical limitations. He's healing from his gunshot wound, and he's just generally speaking not as spry as he once was. So that's all stuff they could have very easily just chosen to kind of like hand wave away,
Yeah.
and they're not. They're making sure to call it out when they can. So that was nice.
Right. Right. He makes his way into Red's apartment and he finds the trophies.
Mm-hmm. Did a
Harry
little bit
and
of forensic work on the getting the door code, which I thought was nice
yeah, that was
as well.
interesting. Yeah, he came with like a lock pick, and he's like, "Oh, these are not made the
This is not going to
same
work. Yeah.
anymore." Yeah. But yeah, I think it's interesting how Harry is kind of keeping him in check. Where Dexter comments on the sparseness of the room, and Harry says something like, "It reminds me of you or whatever," and
Oh no, Dexter says I used to live like this, and he's
yeah,
like clearly like reminiscing about his
right,
days in Miami before his life became so complicated, and how he lived
right.
in this like sparse apartment, and
hmm And
uh,
he's like back when Harry says something like back when something like back when you were really like rolling or whatever, and Dexter says kind of like now, and he's got this cocky grin on his face, and Harry reminds him, except now you have a son, and
yeah,
I wrote this note saying, Dexter is I worry about him because he's really feeling himself. He's really excited about being on the hunt again and being like just kind of letting the dark passenger out.
mm-hmm.
And he's getting like way too into it. Like he's usually so careful and so reserved, and now he's just like chomping at the bit for more. And
I think he's embracing it, but he's also firing on all cylinders. Like I think
mhm,
he's doing his thing, and he's being very smart about it.
mhm,
Um, but he is kind of like, it seems like the role Harry is playing in the season is kind of like to keep him reminded of the fact that don't forget you have a son. Like
right,
whatever you do, no matter how deep you let yourself go back into this way of life, don't forget the fact that you have a son.
yeah,
Um, and that's important. I think it's an important role, and it's a little bit of a different role that Harry has played before. So it's like the human part of his psyche is like that's keeping him kind of connected, saying you keep doing what you're doing because you're good at it and this is what you do best, but like don't let it distract you from the fact that you have another job that you have to do, and that's be a good father to Harrison.
right,
Um,
right. We get Quinn and Masuka.
Boom! This pissed me off.
Oh, okay.
No, that didn't piss me off. What pissed me off is that they spoiled the moment in the fucking
Oh, dude,
beginning of the episode.
I hate these flash forwards. They did it in episode 4 too. And I was
Yeah,
like,
so
"What the fuck?"
I genuinely, as a general rule, hate I don't hate that. I think it's kind of it's a weird choice for Dexter, because for me I always associate it with like Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Um, but generally speaking, up until this point, they've been really good at being so vague and fast, and like there's no context there to like really spoil anything. I think they did a really good job of that in New Blood.
Yeah.
Um, this is twice now, episode 3 and 4, that have kind of like given away a very important moment of the episode. More so in episode 3, like the whole like right out
Yeah.
of the gate, they hit you with a shot of where you clearly see Quinn and Masuka, and I was like, why would you put that?
Why
There's so
would you
many
do
like
that?
individual shots from that scene they could have put in there,
Yeah.
like Batista sipping on his drink or something,
Right.
or Batista just sitting at the bar
Yeah.
before Quinn and Masuka showed up. That would have fit the bill. I don't know why they
Yeah.
did that.
It's
Um,
stupid.
but that's neither here nor there. The moment itself was amazing. It was
Yeah.
so well done, and Quinn and Masuka both look amazing.
Yeah.
Um, it was so great seeing them on screen together again. I more or less knew that Desmond Harrington would be back as Quinn.
Right. Yeah.
Masuka, I had suspicions, and that was purely because he had he had been kind of active on social media where he was like talking a little bit about
Right.
Dexter, and then like a year ago or something, he posted something where he's like, "Hey, look, I'm at the Paramount offices," and I was like, "Really, C.S.
Right.
Lee? Why are you at the Paramount offices?" But like there had been no real talk about him actually being back, and I hadn't seen him like interacting with anybody else on the cast anywhere. So
Right. Do you
when they
think
said
they
Masuka and he showed up, I was like, "What the fuck?"
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it
Do
was
you think
great.
they play a bigger role in this season?
I'm almost positive Quinn will.
Okay.
I can't say for certain if Masuka will, but at the same time, I also feel like they wouldn't have bothered bringing Masuka back at all if it was just for that one scene.
I mean, maybe they have to send Masuka some like blood evidence or something, you know?
Maybe. I mean, um, I think the fact that they know they have a multi-season arc here, I think they're kind of planting seeds. I don't know if we see. I think we'll see Quinn again this season. I don't know if we'll see Masuka again, but I think they're planting the seeds so that they can reintroduce them as major characters next
Yeah.
season
Yeah.
or what have you. I mean, when you think about it, we only have 6 episodes. We're already almost to the halfway point of the season, so like, there's still room for that stuff to happen, but it's getting crowded. Like, there's a
Yep.
lot of stuff going on.
Yep.
So, um, I wouldn't be surprised at all if this is just the first time we see them, so that they've kind of reassured the audience that like, hey, they're back, but this is just the
Yeah.
tease kind of
Yeah.
situation. Um,
Right.
and if they don't end up playing a bigger role, or if one does and the other doesn't, this scene was still kind of amazing and really touching. Like watching Batista like hug them, and he even
Yeah.
kisses Masuka's forehead. And so I
Yeah.
was like,
It's great. It's
and his
great.
little quip about "you better not be starting an OnlyFans."
Yeah. It's good.
I love
It's
it.
good.
It
Yep.
was and Desmond Harrington like slipped right back in. Like, I was a
Yeah.
little worried about what Quinn would be like when he came back, because Desmond Harrington hasn't been doing a ton of acting since Dexter, but he
Yeah.
slips right back into it, and he's great. I This made me so happy. Made me so
So good.
happy.
So good. Nick, you were right. The whole thing with Red was not a race thing. And instead it was a thing against rideshare drivers in general. And I gotta ask, is this something you knew ahead of time? Like, did you? Because you were so on the nose. Did you know that
I
this was the
didn't.
twist?
I did not know this was the twist. I was like, they're not being specific enough with his like
Yeah.
threatening speak, right? He's not dropping racial slurs. He's not saying anything outwardly racist. He's just saying things that make you think, is this guy a racist?
Right.
um and
Very,
I was like
very good theory that you have.
and
I
I
mean,
was like, I think that's odd. But I did know, and I don't remember what show it was. I watched some other show where they they use the kind of the quote unquote like the war between cabs and rideshare as kind of a plot point,
oh,
and
okay.
I don't remember what it was, but
Huh.
I do remember it was a huge deal. Like, as Uber kind of took off,
Mm-hmm.
cab drivers and New York City being kind of ground zero of that, because obviously it's a huge industry in New York. I was like, I know there's some bad blood there,
Yeah.
and New York City would, if that was to happen anywhere, it would be New York City. Um, and the whole medallion thing, I don't understand how cab medallions work
Mm-hmm.
exactly, but
Yeah.
it's like it's almost like a student loan. I think like you buy a cab
Okay.
medallion for like 50 or $60,000 something, and you have to pay it back.
Okay.
And I remember when Uber kind of blew up, cab drivers were suddenly struggling to pay
Medallion.
make their payments on their medallion, and then they were
Mm,
getting repoed because
right.
and I just remember it being a huge thing. So I was like, he didn't say anything outwardly racist, so I think this is a bait and switch.
Yeah.
But at the
Very
end of the
much
day,
was.
still, it was a clever bait and switch, but it also wasn't important to the bigger plot. It was just kind of a nice subversion of expectation, I think. And another
Yeah.
way to like use New York City as like to kind of like let that inspire, you know, the
Yeah.
characters and like the killers that you find here. Like, it's very New York. I'm pretty pleased with myself that it
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
was right, but
Yeah. That was
yeah,
a great guess.
called it.
Yeah. Um, Dexter dropping the needle and everything, that had me on the edge of my seat. That was a great scene. He's got the metal in his
Dude,
turtleneck, and
the fucking turtleneck trick was incredible.
yeah,
I was like, I saw, because when he's talking to Blessing and Blessing's like going to fix the dryer vent outside or whatever, and you see him
yeah,
like unravel that metal thing, I was like, well, they're focusing on that metal thing pretty
yeah.
strongly. And then he's putting the turtleneck on later, and I was like, this motherfucker is brilliant because he knows his
Oh,
MO of
I
using the
didn't guess that early. I didn't guess it until it was happening.
because his MO, he even cuts his hand when he finds his murder weapon when he's
Hmm.
finding the trophies in the ceiling, whatever, and he finds
Yeah,
the
right.
garrote wire, whatever. And he knows the MO, and he's so like, if you're gonna
Yeah,
trap someone, you got to protect your neck. And I was like, that turtleneck is not going to be strong enough to protect your neck. So I was like, there's got to be something.
yeah,
And I was just like, this motherfucker wouldn't put that metal thing around his neck, didn't he?
yeah.
So cool, such a cool
What's
moment.
What's so funny is I was not paying that close of attention apparently because I didn't see it until it was happening. But when he first puts the turtleneck on, I was like, no, I hated the turtleneck from New Blood. It looks so stupid.
It's not
Um,
about fashion, Spencer.
I
It's
know.
about
Yeah,
keeping your
apparently
body warm.
there's a bigger purpose. So I'm glad it worked out. But then I thought it was funny after that whole thing. He like knocks him out and everything. They're driving away, and I don't know. I know that you're really liking the humor from the series, and I don't hate it by any means. I don't even dislike it at all. I just think there hasn't been anything that has really made me like crack up laughing or been like, oh, that was a good one or whatever. And Dexter, he's like driving away and he says, don't you know nobody likes backseat drivers? And then he starts cracking up.
He,
He starts
he,
laughing. And I'm like,
yeah.
what? I don't know if I've ever
He,
seen Dexter laugh like that.
he's a fucking nerd. He made himself laugh. He made a dumb quip, and he's like, it's like a dad laughing at his own
Yeah.
dad joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
Which
sure.
he's a dad, and he's that age, so he's making like corny dad jokes.
Yeah.
Which is new territory, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
I guess when he usually says something like that, it's like not like in anger, but much more like monotone or like bored sounding,
yeah.
like, don't you know nobody likes backseat drivers? Like something like that. But he was like, he almost said it. He
I
said it
think
like
he
a dad joke. I was
I
like,
think he
okay.
realized how ludicrous it was that he was at that point. He was alone in the car. The guy was knocked the
Yeah.
fuck out, and he still
Right.
said it. I think he was more laughing at the fact that he like
Said it
said
out
it out
loud.
loud. He's
Yeah.
like, who the fuck am I even talking to? Nobody's
Right.
here.
Yeah.
Nobody's listening. So I mean, I think it's silly. I like it.
Yeah.
It was funny. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think the funniest thing in this episode, and I've seen so many like people like clip this out and make little edits of it because it's so the facial acting is so chef's kiss. Is like when
Sure.
he makes a little like he's asking me, he's like, he's like, how does it feel to know you're gonna die or something
Oh,
like that?
yeah.
And he's like,
I'm
and he makes some joke and he's like, yeah, and then he like realizes like, oh, I guess that's not the answer you were looking for. Oh, I'm
Right.
so scared. But
Right.
he makes this face like, God, this makes me sick.
So degrading.
This is so degrading. Yeah. And it's just I thought that was so fucking funny.
That was funny. That was funny for sure. Yep. I loved I'm Dexter and there's only room for one dark passenger.
Yeah, we get corny Dexter back, but hey,
Yeah.
I dig it.
And then we get the blood theme. Yeah.
That blood theme that played was really neat. Like that,
Yeah.
it was a new recording. Obvious. I think
Yeah.
it was like almost orchestral. It was eerie. It was eerie. It's an eerie song, but they made it eerier somehow.
Yep.
And I thought that was great.
Just in case I forget about it, did you hear the I think it was just like the Dexter theme in episode 4 when they're in the elevator, and it's very like kind of like understated and like very like almost like kind of sad sounding and like it's like slowed way down. And
in
it's
the elevator, which
it's when he's in the elevator with Charlie going up to Prater's.
Well, when he's in
place.
the elevator with Charlie, it's playing this song, this like licensed song that's like supposed to. It's talking about like his heart beating super fast. I
Okay.
know that because I was rewatching it today because I'm starting to work on my review and I was like clicking through scenes and I remember that being like kind of a detail that stuck out to me. Maybe it was before that song started playing or after, I don't know. But
Yeah,
like he
could
puts
be.
his hand on his own heart because it's like his
Yes.
heart's beating and the song is like I forgot what the song is called, but the lyric of the song is like talking about your heart beating out of your chest.
Right.
I'll have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
I did not
Um,
notice it.
okay, wrap up episode 3. Take us home. Is there anything
He
else after that?
I mean, he disposes of the body. We've been wondering how he's going to dispose of the body.
Yeah.
And it's more or less the same thing he did in Iron Lake, but
Yeah.
with
He
a few
drives to a
added.
bad part of town and
He goes to a part of town that not even the police go.
yeah.
And he finds this like abandoned not commercial, like I don't even know what it is. It's like a abandoned warehouse or something that happens to have an incinerator in there, and he fires it up, and that's where he's disposing of the bodies. Um, which
Yeah.
is it's fine. It makes sense. I mean, I don't think that incinerator is like as quite as effective as that really high end one that they had in Iron Lake, especially considering it's in a rundown building. But
Yeah.
also, no one's going to go poking around through this incinerator.
Right.
If they do, I don't think anyone's going to like. It's in a horrendous part of town that
Yeah.
nobody goes. So like,
Right.
who the fuck knows?
Yeah. Real quick,
But yeah,
the melancholic Dexter theme was when he was getting searched by Charlie.
oh, okay. I'll have to
And
go listen to that
yeah.
again.
Yeah. It was really good. It was
Yeah,
really good.
a lot of really neat musical choices in that episode. But yeah, episode 3 ends with he's reading the invitation out, which I think was really cool,
Yep.
and he's kind of reacting to it, and then he realizes he needs Red's thumbprint to get in, so
Yeah,
he
and he
like
gets the
pulls the
thumb.
arm, pulls the arm out of the incinerator before it burns, and
Yeah.
like cuts, and it was like a return to like playful. It was kind of like a playful
Yeah.
Dexter of old, where he's just like kind of smiling. It's like, oh, this is morbid as fuck, but I need this thumb, and he's like cutting it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff, and it kind of takes us straight into episode 4 because this is where like the real story of the season begins. Like I think everything up until
Yes.
this point has been moving the pieces around on the board to make episode 4 possible,
Right.
and now we're off to the races.
Now we're off to the races.
This is what the season is actually about.
What was episode 4 called?
Call Me Red.
Call Me Red. That's right. Okay. What? How did he copy his thumbprint? Did you catch that? How he like somehow made like a mold of
Yeah,
it or
and
something?
I've seen this done somewhere else too, and again, I don't remember where. It might have even been on
Sure.
another TV show or something. But yeah, like he basically used like stuff you can buy off the shelf and probably find in your house to like create a mold
Huh.
of the thumbprint. And then he applied it to the end of his thumb, and then used some kind of like epoxy or something to like blend it with his. So he basically has like a mask on his thumb that has
Yeah.
Red's thumbprint, which I think it's very much kind of like it. I think it has a lot of links to like forensic countermeasures or stuff, or just
Sure.
understanding forensics. Like you probably learn a lot of the skills necessary to do that when learning how to like dust for fingerprints or test people's fingerprints, or and
Yeah.
this is or in some cases, I saw this on another show. Not entirely sure how realistic it is, but in that other show, they had to rehydrate a body that had been, I guess, dead for a very long time, and they needed to like pull its thumbprint off again, but it was like
Right.
basically mummified. So they had to rehydrate his thumb
Huh.
and then kind of create like this fake thumbprint by like taking a
Right.
mold of it. And it was very similar to that. But yeah,
Okay.
I've definitely heard of things like this before. It was cool to kind of see it in action. We've never
Yeah.
really seen Dexter do that before, but it made sense.
And then
Um,
what he made like a thin plastic thing, and then did he glue it to his finger?
I think it's like I don't know what the material is, but I think it's like a
Yeah.
clear adhesive that kind of
Okay.
like bonds it to your skin. and then he just kind of like smoothed it out and
Right.
then like used makeup to kind of like blend the coloring so that you couldn't really tell it was
Sure.
fake.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah,
It's
it's
pretty
cool.
cool.
It was some cool like reverse forensic stuff that he was doing um, in the opening moments, and
Yeah.
he's having this conversation with Harry, talking about how what they could be walking into at this dinner party, and he's clearly excited about it.
Yeah.
And this is the first moment in the episode of many where they kind of make reference to like real world um, serial killer things. He because he's like, there has been another gathering like of serial killers like this, and it didn't turn out so well. And he was referring to like the pig farmer thing.
The pig farmer
Which,
thing?
yeah, he talks. Harry says like he talks about this other gathering of serial killers and how it was this like crazed like orgy of sex and carnage or whatever.
Oh.
And then Dexter's like, ah, yes, the pig farmer, and I'm pretty sure the pig farmer is an actual thing that happened.
Huh.
But
Interesting.
yeah, oh yeah, I know it's a real thing because I've listened to a true crime podcast about it.
Ah,
He's referring
yes.
to Robert Picton, known as the pig farmer killer.
Okay.
Yeah, and he invited a bunch of serial killers out to his place, and weird shit happened. But yeah,
Wow.
makes reference to it. And Harry's clearly trying to point out like this could be a bad idea. This could be a really
Yeah.
bad idea. And he's like, nah, it's good. I got this.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not letting this pass. It's gonna be an all you can eat buffet.
Yep. Oh God, yeah.
And you had me at all you can eat buffet. It sounds great.
Poor Dexter. Poor Dexter.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
And this is where he drops the line about I'm tired of being careful, which is an allusion to the fact that he's tired of being anything other than himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's exciting. We talked about that a little bit already.
It is exciting. Harrison's watch is ready, or Ryan's watch is ready.
Yeah.
This is gonna come back to bite him. Why does he put it in the safe? Is it like a trophy, you think? Is it his trophy?
I think it's just something that's I don't know what he's thinking exactly in this moment, but I think he's because
throw it in a dumpster.
I was like, yeah, you need to get rid of that watch as quickly as possible. But I think he's having this like inner turmoil throughout the episode. Clearly, like the episode leads up to him basically on the verge of turning himself into the police because he's already like losing his mind.
Right.
And I think that was a really nice touch. Like throughout the entire episode, when we're with Harrison, he's hearing the ticking clock.
Yes.
The ticks of the watch. I thought it was a really neat touch.
Mm-hmm.
But he knows that watch could get him in trouble. Knows that that could get him caught. But it's also like he feels like it's like a sign of like you should turn yourself in. Like,
right.
Your time is limited. Like
right.
It was kind of a nice visual metaphor throughout the episode. And the fact that he didn't get rid of it right away made me immediately think, oh man, he's having second thoughts. But yeah,
what do we think about our first interaction with Charlie, where she makes Dexter get in the front seat? She's like, "This isn't a ride share. You get in the front seat."
So yeah, I watched that part for the second time today.
Okay.
Because at first, my first reaction to that scene was, "Oh, that's funny." She's like, she's doing the thing that people do, like even normal people do, where it's like you're driving and someone tries to get in the back seat, and you're like, "What am I, your chauffeur?" That's not what she's doing.
No, not at all.
He's a serial killer who kills people by sitting behind
from
them
the back seat,
sawing their head off.
Yeah,
I was like, I totally missed that the first time. I was like, that's funny. She's like, you're not sitting back there. So he gets in the front seat. I really like the dynamic of this scene. I really like Charlie a lot. I think there's definitely there's more to this character.
Oh yeah.
Than meets the eye.
Oh yeah.
But I really liked the one thing I really like about this season so far is that it feels really well constructed. Like all the little pieces from episode to episode have clicked together. It's almost like a puzzle is coming together really nicely. So like Red, when we meet Red, they make it very clear that he is like this cybersecurity guy. and part of his like playing it safe and not getting caught is he doesn't have an online presence. He doesn't show his face
Right.
to anybody. He doesn't take pictures of himself. His apartment doesn't have pictures on the wall.
Right.
Nobody knows what this guy looks like. You can't even see his face when he's wearing his hoodie,
Right.
like looking through cameras and stuff. So like nobody, it would make sense that nobody, even if she figures out who this killer is, she may have no idea what he actually looks like.
Right.
So seeing that, like, it just kind of like clicks into place, and then like Dexter making the fake thumbprint, and it's just like everything fits together so nicely.
Yeah.
And when they're in the car together and they're riding to this thing, and he's trying to get her to give him more information about this dinner party, and she's just like shutting him down, like, we're not talking about this. And then she just
Yeah.
turns the music on.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I like
Good.
this.
It's
I
good.
like this dynamic.
She does say it took her 3 weeks to find Schmidt, and Dexter in his head is like, it only took me 3 days.
Yeah.
This is great.
Just classic, like, I'm better than you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dexter thrives on that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They roll up to Prater's, and it's kind of like this big scene of him like walking in and being like, holy shit. And the music that plays on the way in, maybe this is when the elevator thing happened. I so far have really hated the music in this new season. It's a lot of rap.
A lot of rap. The only rap song I can actually think of is the one where she turns the radio on to like get him to stop talking.
No, in the previous few episodes, it's been a lot of rap or a lot of like, either rap or like modernish like club or party music and stuff. And
they played War Pig by Black Sabbath.
Yeah, I mean that was one of them, but I just don't think I've never heard rap in Dexter before as like a background song unless he's walking into like, you know, in the old series, if he was walking into like a drug dealer's house or something, maybe they're blasting rap. And I just don't think that rap as a background song works with Dexter at all. Like I hate it. I
really don't think they've done it that often. In this particular scene, I think it worked because she was literally just turning on the radio, and it was like blending the scenes. Like she turned the radio up to get him to stop talking, and then the car drives away, and then the next scene is him driving into the front of them pulling up to the front of the mansion, and the music kind of follows them until they get into that little entry room, and then as soon as the doors close, that music stops. So, you know, I mean, it's a personal preference thing, I understand.
Yeah.
But my favorite use of licensed music in New Blood was actually the party scene where Harrison takes the drugs.
Yeah.
And man, I can't think of what that song is called. I listen to it all the time. But it's, you know, it's like electronic rap, but it's like I fucking love it. That whole scene is just pure vibes. So I think it works in some cases. Not all.
Yeah.
But we definitely got some new music in this episode that was like original, which I thought was nice, especially as he meets Prater in the upcoming scene.
Okay.
I think we got a little hint of because I feel like it's been a while since we've had a villain that had like a very identifiable theme song. They kept kind of like reusing Trinity's song a lot in the later seasons of the original show, and it kind of made me mad. I'll have to
go back and look and listen to it. I didn't notice a specific theme for Prater.
Yeah, because Trinity has a very definitive theme song, and they kept using it for like after season 6. They like when you had the Koshka Brotherhood and you had the Brain Surgeon, they kept like using Trinity music at like random moments, and I was like, that music used to mean something. It was very much linked to Trinity, and they're just like kind of like making it less important. But yeah, the scene where he first enters the mansion and he walks up to meet Prater, there's this like really creepy new music that plays, and I'm like, I think this is meant to be like Prater's theme, and it has this vibe. It has this vibe of like what's going on here. This like creepy kind of like mystery. Like it makes you go, huh, what is this guy all about? There's something weird about him, but I can't put my finger on it. Really cool little jingle. I recommend going back and watching that scene again.
Okay, I will. I just put on Trinity's theme trying to hear it. Oh yeah.
You know, yeah,
Dun, dun, dun.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
But yeah, there's some good stuff here. But yeah, so we've made it to the mansion.
Yeah. Real
He has
quick,
arrived.
Dexter is having a panic attack in the elevator, which is just
I
really
don't know
good.
if that's panic. I don't know if that's panic. I think that's
I don't look
excitement.
at his face, man. Look at his face. He looked maybe not like panic, but it was kind of like even in his head he was saying, "What the hell am I getting myself into? Like
Yeah,
what could this possibly be?" And if you look at his face, it really looks like for a second there it looks like he's like, "Am I in over my head right now? Like this is
will
kind
that
of a
fuck up?
lot." Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I think when he meets Charlie, he realizes, okay, this is pretty serious. Like she looks
Yeah.
like she wouldn't hesitate to put a bullet in my head.
Yeah.
Um, and then she like pats him down, and she's obviously not very talkative.
Sure.
And yeah, so I think, and not to mention when he shows up at the mansion, just in general, I don't think he was, because like
Expecting that.
they have that conversation when he has the conversation with Harry and they talk about the pig farmer thing. Like he's like, "Am I gonna show up to this like weird like rundown building and there's just a bunch of creepy weirdos
Yeah.
hanging out around like a like a barrel with a with a fire in it, and is that what's happening here?" But no, he shows up at this like billionaire's mansion with
Yeah.
this like really hardcore like bodyguard chick who would
Yeah.
probably put a bullet in his head if she realized he was lying.
Right.
um yeah, so I would imagine there's probably an element of like, I can't go back now, clearly, but
Right.
like this is way more intense than I was expecting, and I think that's really
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
And I also think about like all the times, like especially early on in the show, where they talked about how he was just trying, as when he was younger, he was just constantly trying to like feel something to like make his heart beat. That's why when they
Yeah.
discovered the bodies in season 2, he was like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh my god, my heart's beating out of my chest," because he realizes something's this is bad.
Right.
Um, and I feel like it's a little bit of that too. And also
Yeah.
they do it a couple times. Like they keep doing, I think they realized they were onto something in Original Sin, because they kind of introduced that thing where he was like feel
Yeah.
their hearts.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
think that has become kind of like a new thing that they're starting to do here as well. He keeps feeling his heart. He feels his victims' hearts and stuff. And they haven't done it to the same degree here. Like in Original Sin, like they do the thing where you can actually hear the doo 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 doo, like
Right.
you can hear the heartbeat. But he keeps doing the motions and like putting his hand on various hearts and stuff. So
Yeah.
I
Even
like
with
that
yeah, at the end he does it too. Yeah.
with
Go ahead.
Lowell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of like really neat little connective details like that I think are really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, he meets Leon Prater.
This is I think the best character intro in the entire series. Like
It's
as
good.
far as introducing a new character, I was glued to this scene.
Yeah. Yeah, everything that happens over the next like 15 minutes after
Yeah.
he enters the mansion
Oh my
is
god.
fucking incredible.
Yes.
And Peter Dinklage, who we all know is a pretty amazing actor.
Yes.
Um, I've never seen him play a character like this.
Mhm.
Um, he's
So good.
immediately creepy, but
Yeah.
also
Likable?
yeah,
Kind of likable?
I
Like
kind of like this guy
yeah.
until they showed his vault, and I was like, okay. And there's
Yeah.
this like moment later after they go through the vault or whatever, where Dexter says, "I know it takes one to know one, but this guy is fucking nuts."
Yes,
And
I wrote that down. It's so
was
funny.
like, that is so true. Like he's acknowledging that he's crazy,
Yeah.
but he's like, but even I recognize that this guy is just out of his rocker, off his rocker. Like,
Right.
what the fuck?
Right.
And I think that says a lot. But also, it begs the question. Like, he has this interaction at the beginning where he's like super giddy that
Yeah.
Red, quote unquote, is there, and they had this exchange where where Dexter says, "Are you not like us?" And he's like, "Oh, no, 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 no. I can't
Yeah.
do what you do."
Yeah.
Um,
He says,
and
"Goodness, no, I am just a huge fan." I'm like, what
yeah,
the fuck?
yeah. And I'm sitting here going, like, is he being honest or is he
I think he
lying?
is.
I mean, my instinct is to say that I think he is too, but I was like, this is all.
Where does
If
this
we get
come from? You know,
i-
like,
if we get to the end of the season and we do not have a kill table scene with Peter Dinklage, I will riot. We have to have that. Like that
yeah,
would be gold. And I'm not
yeah,
even saying that because obviously he's a little
sure,
person and that's going to be funny,
sure.
but he's an amazing actor. He's an amazing
Yeah.
actor, and Michael C. Hall's an amazing
Can you
actor, and
imagine? Oh my
the
God.
scene would just be incredible. So I was like, which to me says he's got to eventually do something to become worthy of the code.
Yeah.
Like he's got to earn his place on the table.
I think
So
he's going to
like,
give a command because he says that he's got several things lined up, and I think one of the final things is him going to be telling everybody to like bring him a kill or to like
yeah, maybe.
videotape a kill or to like basically send them out and their homework is to kill somebody. I
Yeah,
think.
or maybe it's because yeah, he said he has several things planned. Wouldn't be surprised if he like at the end he's like, all right, I want to do it. Bring someone
Oh,
here, like bring
yeah.
someone here and let me do it.
Yes.
Um,
Oh man.
which then becomes a problem for Dexter because the new and improved Dexter that we now have is starting to show signs of like wanting to be better, like wanting to
Right.
like help people. So like I don't think he's the kind of person who would just sit there and watch somebody else murder an innocent person.
Right. No.
Um
I mean, we saw that with Lowell. Like
yeah,
he didn't even have his tools
yeah.
and he couldn't wait. He had to stop him before he killed the girl.
Yeah, and the your car driver with Red, he
Yeah.
stopped him from
Yep.
getting in the back. So like he's clearly I think he wants to be better for Harrison and he wants
Yeah.
to be someone that Harrison can maybe like
Get
or
behind.
get
Yeah.
behind. Um, so like, yeah, I don't think he's gonna sit there. If that is where this is going, that's pretty exciting.
It's so
It's gonna
exciting.
it's gonna be super tense. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we learned a couple things in this meeting because he takes him down to his vault,
Oh, let's talk
and
about the vault.
before they go in the vault, even before they
Uh-huh.
step foot in the vault, he
Sure.
makes a point to kind of illustrate that Charlie does not like any of this shit.
Right.
Which begs the question: then why is she here? Why is she agreeing to do all this? Which which is why I think there's definitely more to her than meets the eye.
I think it's money and blackmail.
Money and blackmail, possibly, or maybe she has like a personal reason. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlie eventually kind of becomes like an ally for Dexter when she
Yeah.
realizes who he is and is like
Yep.
trying to help him take all these people out.
Yep.
Because I think maybe she has like a vendetta. Maybe she even has a vendetta against Leon Prater, and she is
Yeah.
like trying to be close to him. So
Bide her time and
yeah, yeah. So that's a really exciting idea. But yeah, he opens the vault,
oh my
and this
God.
vault is the most bananas
It was
sequence I've like.
It's the craziest scene in the entire series. Like
Yeah,
I really believe that it is one of just the most insane things that we've seen on Dexter, and I
and it's
gotta give a
captivating.
hand. Yeah, I gotta give a hand to the not to like everybody on the crew was so good for this scene. The writers, the director, the prop people,
The
the
production design, yeah,
oh my God,
it's
so
so cool.
good, so
Um,
good.
and the idea that they're finally kind of like blending the real world with Dexter
Yeah,
by like referencing all of these real world killers right alongside killers that Dexter himself has taken out.
yeah,
You can see like I was just like pausing and rewinding and like trying to see all the
same.
things in the background and like read everything and like so you can see the Doomsday Killer, like the ritual sword the
Oh,
Doomsday Killer used.
I missed
Uh
that.
it's
Wow.
it's in there, and the hammer that Trinity uses, obviously. He even
Yep.
mentions Brian Moser and says this is the table where Brian Moser killed himself.
That Dexter killed him on.
Yeah, and then of course the blood slide. He says he
Oh
won
my
these from an
god.
FBI agent with a gambling problem, and there they are, the fucking blood slides just laid out.
That was an incredible reveal. That
It's
was
an
an
incredible
incredible reveal.
reveal. It's an incredible reveal. It had a profound impact on Dexter, and it
Yeah.
also illustrates very quickly that Leon Prater knows who the Bay Harbor Butcher is. So
Yeah.
like if that information eventually gets back to Prater that Dexter is the Bay Harbor Butcher, I can't decide if he's going to be
Ecstatic.
ecstatic or terrified. I don't know, but like
Yeah. I was hoping that he would go in there. I mean, it makes sense that he's taking the place of Red, but I gotta say, you know what? Back a ways back when we were still theorizing on this show and everything, I was really hoping that he would be going in there as the Bay Harbor Butcher and they would know who he is. But it also doesn't really make sense because like everyone would know that he wants to kill them.
yeah. And I think the byproduct of having him infiltrate and not go in as the Bay Harbor Butcher is that we get these moments. We're going to get multiple moments, I'm sure, where these
Yeah.
characters one by one realize who he is. And that, like, we had one this episode when he tells Lola at the end that he's the Bay Harbor Butcher, and he has that
It's like,
that like
fuck.
but yeah, he realizes what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
So good.
Yep.
And I can't wait to see that happen multiple
Mm.
times. And I think it's going to be
Lovely.
incredible when Leon finally realizes this.
Yeah.
Because as far as Leon is concerned, he thinks the Bay Harbor Butcher is James Stokes, like everybody else.
Right.
So that's going to be quite a shocking revelation to him.
Yep.
Also, shout out to the John Wayne Gacy clown costume, which was used in Original Sin.
Yep.
And they even did a flashback to the same scene from Original Sin.
Yep.
Really cool connective tissue there. And yeah, man.
Wait, was the clown that Dexter kills, was that supposed to be John Wayne Gacy?
No.
Oh, okay.
In Original Sin, when he's trying to figure out what to do with the bodies.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking New Blood because there was a clown that he killed in New Blood, right?
There was a clown, Mr. Wiggles.
Mr. Wiggles, that's right.
Mr. Wiggles. The Scott Reynolds, the executive producer / writer, actually he played John Wayne Gacy in that little cameo in Original Sin. But they brought that's the costume that you see on display, and they did a quick flashback to that same scene from Original Sin, which I thought was really cool.
Okay, I'll have to look at that again. And then we get the fridge of. Do I have the name wrong? Was it John Wayne Gacy's fridge or
no,
who's the cannibal guy?
That was Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I know about that more than I probably would like because I watched that Netflix series. Which was really, really good. But
and there's still blood in it.
Yeah, it's super fun. He would literally dismember his victims and like keep their heads in the freezer.
Oh my God.
And he let police into his apartment to investigate with heads in the freezer.
Oh my God.
And
they didn't look in the fridge?
They didn't look in the fridge, and he played it cool the entire time and was not nervous about it at all. It's creepy as hell. But yeah, that was So just like the peppering in of like real world serial killer stuff with the Dexter universe is so cool.
Is the New York Ripper, is that a real serial killer?
No. So they mentioned the New York Ripper twice in this episode, and I think that's intentional. Because they make a point in the vault scene for Leon Prater to mention it, because that's an original character or killer.
Right.
And they say he was never caught.
Oh.
And then you have the scene that we talked about earlier where Claudette is talking about how she became obsessed with the New York Ripper. I was like, either that's going to be a revelation at some point and someone that we know is the Ripper, or they're setting him up to be a villain in a future season or whatever. But like, I don't think they would have name dropped this new character twice if it wasn't important
Right.
somehow.
Right.
But yeah, color me intrigued.
Interesting. Yeah. Yep. We get Ted Bundy's car seat, a seat from his van or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with what the seat situation was.
Because
I don't
I
know as
think
much about Ted Bundy.
because I think his whole thing was that he would lure women to his van and he'd be like, "Hey, my arm's broken and I can't get the hood on my van up. Like, can you help me? Like, just
Yeah.
lift the hood." And they'd come over and then he'd like, drug them or whatever he'd
The
do
only
and then
thing
throw
I
them into his van.
Yeah, the only thing I really remember about Ted Bundy is that he was like, even after he was caught, like he was a ladies' man, and women were
Hmm.
like
He
in
had a
love with
silver
him, and like,
tongue.
yeah, and he was like women would like flock to his trial, and they were like worshiping him and stuff, like he was Elvis or something, and it was like
Right.
really creepy.
Yeah. Manson's
Yeah.
guitar.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and there's the Atlanta child killer
Yeah, I saw a
was on there.
record. It
Yeah,
was like a
which
record of some kind.
if you happen to watch Mindhunter, which I also highly recommend, it's
Oh yeah, you told me to
amazing.
watch that.
Yeah, that's an amazing show, and season 2 is all about how they caught the Atlanta child killer.
What
So
does the
that was
record have to do with anything?
he was a music. I don't remember if he was a music producer or if he was like a DJ,
Oh, okay.
but he would. I think he would like lure children or young people to his house by like promising them like they could be on the radio or something. I don't remember what it
Right.
was. I don't
Okay.
remember the specifics, but it was really creepy. But yeah, so there were so many Easter eggs in this
So
vault.
many
It
good
was
ones.
so incredible, and seeing Dexter kind of react to all these things and interact with these things, and had this very clear picture of Leon Prater painted for him as like this fucking weirdo was
Yeah.
so good. So good. And he asked Red for for a trophy to put on the wall. He gives him the ID. Leon Prater even knows just by reading the name and the ID that he's giving him the ID of the first person he ever killed.
Yeah.
So like Leon Prater knows his shit when it comes to serial killers. Like he's an expert.
Right.
So I don't know what kind of villain that makes him, but he's definitely a villain. I just don't know. Yeah, I just don't know what it's going to ultimately end up becoming.
Yeah. We got a comment here from somebody
I,
who popped into the live stream,
I see that.
Josh 420. He says, "I wish we got more of Lowell's reaction, but it was fire nonetheless."
Yeah.
I very much felt the same way. I loved the scene with Lowell, obviously, but I wish there had been a moment, instead of I loved the fuck and then he dies.
Yeah.
But I wish there had been a moment where like Dexter's like, "I'm the Bay Harbor Butcher," and Lowell would say, "Oh my God, like that means like, are you trying to kill us all or whatever?" And like, I think we understand that as the audience that that's what that fuck means, but
they had a choice to make, like, in what lands better, him like having like extended dialogue or him having this freak out and seeing that on his face when to communicate to the audience that he knows, he definitely knows. So I think they probably had to kind of like wrestle with how much of that to show. I think they ultimately made the right decision, but I agree. It would have been cool to see more. We'll talk about the kill table. I think there was some other good moments in that kill scene. That I liked how he was just kind of like, I've been on the other end of this.
Right. Yeah. He's super calm
to know that I've this is it for me.
Yeah. This is inevitable.
Yeah. A lot of cool stuff there, but we'll get there in a second.
Yeah. I do want to say real quick, I had a, I don't know how to describe it. I had a very real moment during this episode when, we're getting the vault and we're seeing all of these things from all the serial killers. And then we're seeing, Dexter interact with these other serial killers and realizing that they're real people. Like they're not like normal people, but they're people, right? With their own thoughts and stuff like that. And I did have a moment, in addition to the vault, I was, I never like to be the party pooper or anything, but part of me was like, are we glorifying this too much? Or are we humanizing these people too much? Because, we have Dexter and we love Dexter. And I think one of the reasons why we love Dexter is because there's a
He's
part
not
of
like them.
us, well, but also there's a part of us that kind of likes just a little bit of darkness. We like a little bit of like, oh, I'm not supposed to care for this character, but I kind of do. But then when you have a room of them all together and they're talking like people do, and then you have this vault where Dexter is like worshiping all of these these various like trinkets and stuff from all the serial killers. There was a part of me for a minute that was like, there's like this may be like the least I mean, we saw
It's a little
Dexter.
gross.
Yeah, we saw Dexter tear apart Kirk Caldwell for the first time on camera, and all of us were like, whoa, holy shit. And then this happens, and I feel like this is almost more egregious in a way, where it's like, I'm like, this kind of feels like really gross. Like,
Yeah,
I don't, and
and
obviously I love it. I loved all of this, but I just had like a real moment during this episode.
no, absolutely. I mean, I think that's intentional, and
Yeah,
I think the goal of, I mean, we're still obviously we're not even at the halfway point
sure.
of the season yet. I think this is they're drawing the comparisons now.
Yeah,
Like they're showing us Dexter among all these people. They're showing how for a moment he's kind of like I've never been able to be like this around other people, and
right.
that obviously has to be appealing to him.
Sure.
But um then you inevitably know he's going to like the rest of the season is going to be about like drawing a very clear distinction between him and the rest of these guys.
Right.
Um and I think that was the important thing about them using that line at the end of the vault where he was like, I know it takes one to know one, but this
Yeah,
guy's
fucking
weird as
nuts.
fucking
Yeah.
nuts. Um and I don't even know if he was worshiping all these things in the vault. I think he was impressed. I think it's always impressive to see this something like a collection like that. But you also got this sense of like, what is going on here? Like
Yeah.
this is like even Dexter is like weirded
This
out
is
by this
insane. Yeah, for
by this
sure.
situation. I think he was obviously kind of in awe of the fact that like so many of his own victims somehow ended up in this
Yeah.
vault.
Right.
Um, which I think that has got to be a really confusing moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, but yeah, I mean, I think that you make a really good point. I think that is supposed to make you feel gross.
Yeah.
Um, and sooner rather than later, I think all of these characters who are introduced in such a way that they're immediately supposed to be likable, but I think
Yeah.
they're supposed to be likable in the sense that like they're villains. They're
Yeah, they're
bad
just like,
guys.
they're a well-written character.
They almost feel like Batman villains, like
Right.
you
Yeah,
know. Um,
for sure. For sure.
and they're gonna start drawing a line in the sand pretty quick, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I have a feeling Al is gonna be the creepiest of them all.
Oh, for sure.
Er-
I loved the line, great, I get to meet Ponytail Guy.
yeah,
This is such
yeah,
a good
like
line.
I don't know, they cast him for a very specific reason because he's
What
so
is he from? I know he's a famous
Modern
actor, I
Family.
think.
He's from Modern Family. That's his like
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
and he's a great actor. He's an amazing comedic actor.
Yeah.
And like they use that. He almost feels like he walked off the set of Modern Family into this
Right.
sequence.
Yeah.
But he's talking about having kids and taking his kids to like soccer games, and he's being very much like, middle-aged dad, talking about like middle-aged dad things, but also
Yeah.
like
You scored a
taking care
goal.
but taking care of himself too, like taking care of his own needs. And he's talking about murder.
Right.
And that he kills women with ponytails, and
Yeah.
like when we get to see more of that, I have a feeling it's going to be
It's going to be
really
bad.
it's
It's
going
going
to
to
be
be
bad.
really gross.
But I think it's also going to make for an amazing kill room scene.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be
Um,
so good. Dexter, I know we're trying to get out of the vault here, but Dexter hands Prater the ID that has like the blood X on it, and all I could think was Dexter's fingerprints are all over this thing. Like,
yeah, but what reason did he have to check the fingerprints? He thinks he already checked his fingerprints at the door.
no, but I mean, if that vault ever gets raided by the FBI or anything, like,
I mean, think of it this way too. Like, there's also a lot of other evidence linked to Dexter in this vault.
oh yeah,
So, like, if the vault ever got raided,
he'd be
technically
screwed.
speaking, he'd probably be fucked
Yeah,
again.
that's true.
Like, 'cause you got to imagine there's something on one of those items that might tie back.
The hammer, like he used that. He was wearing gloves, but he used it.
I think the blood slide thing would probably be.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Oh yeah. I mean, he touched the blood slide. Like he ran it. That, and real quick, that was a great moment to get to see Dexter run his hand down the blood slides again. I was like, oh.
And then Leon's like, don't touch, please.
Yeah, he's like, don't touch.
And it's almost like in his mind, Dexter was like, bitch, these are mine.
These are mine. That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, they're his blood slides.
He's like, bitch, you don't touch. These are mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it also ties back to like Dexter's quote unquote tired of being careful. He's like, he's taking risks again. He's doing he's doing what he wants because
do you think
he wants to.
I know we talked about this a little bit, but do you think that gets him in trouble? This risk taking? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like if it didn't, the show wouldn't be half as interesting. I think I think it's definitely gonna get him in trouble at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, we probably need to
we gotta move on. We gotta move on.
That vault is so good. But I don't know, where do you want to go next?
We could talk about Mia, or we could talk about the other guys that come in.
So we get to meet all the killers that are going to be a part of the season. And some of these, if not at least one of them, is going to probably live to be featured in a future season of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's probably going to be Gareth.
Okay.
The David Dastmalchian character.
Just because we didn't get to see that much of him.
Yeah, but he's also been doing interviews and stuff lately, and he's been trying to like avoid spoilers, obviously.
Right.
But he keeps saying things that make people think that he is going to go on to become like a big villain, like a major villain for the series. And what the fuck are you doing, cat? Get out of here. I'm sorry. This cat.
No, you're fine.
I'm sprayed this cat. Sorry.
What did they say what his deal was? Like what his like method of
we don't know what his method is yet, but we know he's called the Gemini Killer. He is the number one FBI most wanted killer, and he kills in pairs.
Okay.
Beyond that, and also in the vault, there was a thing that said the Gemini Killer, and it had a whole bunch of Polaroids on the wall, but you couldn't really see what they were.
What if Dexter or what if he goes after Dexter and Harrison? Like definitely maybe they don't end up on like a table or something, but maybe he goes after the two of them.
It's definitely possible. I mean, and there was a really interesting interview with him at Comic-Con this week where he was trying to like, he's really excited about his role, and he's trying to be coy about it, whatever. But he used a very interesting choice of words. He said, Gareth Gemini has a quote unquote special power that nobody in the series has ever had before.
Wow.
And I don't think that he obviously doesn't mean that he has like a
supernatural
powers. There is something about him that makes him very dangerous.
Okay.
And I don't know what that is.
Very cool.
And considering how they kind of downplayed him at the very beginning, like he didn't talk a lot. He just kind of came in, and I feel like it's
maybe
a little
he's in the FBI.
Maybe so. I don't know. Maybe he's undercover. So there's they're being coy about this, and they're making some really smart choices, and they're teasing things really, really well
Yeah.
in the season. Um,
Yep.
so I think that's going to go places. I
Yep.
also think if any of them are going to survive the season and go on to become a villain later, it's probably going to be him.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yep.
we also meet Mia, played by Kristen
Love
Ritter.
interest? Question mark.
I don't know if love interest is what I would use. I think she's definitely going to be like. I think they're definitely going to have sex.
Yeah, she was
Definitely.
flirty. I'm like, for a killer that exclusively kills like sexual
predators.
harassers or abusers, or like, I was surprised that she just, like, was she inviting him into the shower, or was she waiting to see if he would like trying to be
Maybe.
YouTube friendly, but like force himself in there?
I mean, maybe she was testing him, but
Yeah.
also, I think she was genuinely into him.
Yeah.
She gives me this vibe of like she herself is very in touch with her sexuality,
Yeah.
and she doesn't tolerate men or
The abuse of that.
She doesn't tolerate the abuse of that, but she's definitely like confident and
Yeah.
in touch with their sexuality. So like that's exciting. I loved the whole dynamic of that scene. Because she's trying to lure him into the shower and
Yeah.
he's like, don't do it. And then Harry's like, taking a shower with a serial killer? I don't know if that's a good idea. And he's like, oh, not exactly part of the code.
Yeah, like, that was a great line. That was a great line.
He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it.
That was a
and
great
then he's
line.
like, I gotta go. And that reaction,
it was such a good line. What?
What? Like
the way she said it. The way she said it was perfect.
She was
what?
I think she was ready and she was confident and she was shocked that he didn't go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely not going to last. They're definitely going to bone, and I think that's great. But also, I got to remind everybody that Dexter's does not have a great track record with femme fatale characters like this.
Right.
But as I also said earlier, I think they're setting her up to get her own spinoff. And I actually saw a really great theory earlier this week that I'm almost hesitant to say because I feel like it's so good it's probably a spoiler. And should I say it? Should I not say it?
Ooh, I don't know. It's so hard when you do this to me. I would hold off for now, and if it comes up in a future episode, then let me know for sure.
I'll be like, this is the thing I was talking about.
Okay, yeah, and if not, you can tell me about it later.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say about it without giving away any details is that if this happens to be true, she has a very important role to play in this season, but it also would tie in perfectly to her going on to get her own series. So yeah, that's super interesting. I like her a lot. I think she's maybe the one character out of all of them that is probably not like she's a killer, but she has humanity.
She has a code.
She has a code. Obviously Dexter's picking up on that.
Yeah.
I think she's the one like redeeming character out of all of them.
Yeah, for sure. I was worried that I wasn't gonna like her. And the only reason for that is because I haven't typically I think she's a very good actress, but I haven't really liked anything that she's been in necessarily besides Breaking Bad.
Okay, I was like, so you didn't like Breaking Bad? What the fuck?
No, Breaking Bad is like one of my top 3 favorite shows of all time, and she was fantastic in it. But like, I didn't like Jessica Jones. I didn't like there was some movie, like some A24 movie or something she was in that I didn't enjoy. But it was so biased. It was so like unwarranted and like it is not fair. And then when I saw her in this episode, I was like, "This is a great character. She's great character." I loved it.
Yeah, she won me over very quickly as well.
Yeah,
and I think they're gonna have great chemistry throughout the season.
Oh yeah, they already do. They already have great chemistry. Neil Patrick Harris walks in, and when I tell you this man is one of my, like, probably top 3 favorite actors. I love Neil Patrick Harris so much. And when he walked in, I just had the biggest smile on my face, Nick. I was like, let's fucking go. I love this man.
Yeah, no, dude, he's great. And although, like, when they announced all these special guest stars and what have you, and I was like, well, some of them are clearly going to end up on Dexter's table. That's inevitable. And I was like, but which ones?
Right.
And I was like, I feel like Neil Patrick Harris isn't going to last very long. I also feel like Eric Stone Street's probably going to go pretty quickly.
And it sucks because, you know, they showed I guess they were behind the scenes pictures. I thought they were pictures from an actual scene. But it showed Michael C. Hall walking around New York City with Neil Patrick Harris. And I was like, oh, maybe they form like a friendship of sorts. Like, even if he's hunting him, like maybe they support, like maybe they, you know, help each other out somehow. And I was looking forward to that. And no, Neil was just in a few scenes and then he died.
I'm pretty sure that was behind the scenes of them filming that scene at the bar.
Yeah.
And they were just walking around on set.
Yeah. Wouldn't you love to just hang out with Michael C. or just see Michael C. Hall hang out with Neil Patrick Harris for a couple hours though?
I mean, I feel like it'd be cool to see Michael C. Hall hang out with just about anybody.
Anybody, yeah.
He's probably great conversation. He's probably great conversation. But yeah, as short-lived as he was cool. He was a cool character.
So lastly, Al, he's super insane. Like, he's got a creepy ass vibe. Like, he's got all this family life, but then when he talks about murder, he's like so into it. Like, and talks about it like me time. Like, ugh.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird when he flips the switch and he's like a killer.
Yeah.
But you know, they're tapping into, like, the vault thing exists for a reason, and
right?
Just to remind you of all the long history of serial killers that we have in this country.
Yeah,
and a lot of those people were incredibly creepy, but also very personable and
charismatic,
and and not at all what you expect. And that's what they're doing with Al, and I'm really excited to see what kind of fucked up he actually is. But I'm also really excited. I'm sure he's going to end up on a kill table.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a kill scene that was teased from behind the scenes stuff, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is going to be Al.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I'm.
There was a wig. Oh.
Yeah, the wig shop.
Yeah.
The wig shop would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well. So.
Oh, the vegan thing! Oh my god!
Yes, that was so funny.
He's in the dinner party. They're bringing out all this delicious-looking food. He's so fucking excited.
I was so hungry watching this.
And then they bring him, like, what do they bring him? Like,
Brussels I don't know. It was it was like vegetables, and there was like a few cucumbers, and
I mean, it was probably some of the best vegetables you'll ever eat in your life. But still,
sure.
To have all this red meat on the table.
Oh my god!
While then him having to do that, he's having to eat this food just to maintain his cover.
Yeah,
is hilarious.
I think he should have said, obviously they did this for comedy gold, but Dexter should have said, no, the vegan thing that was in my apartment, that was for like research on somebody I was tracking down or something. Like, I don't know.
Probably could have found a way, but like it is the comedy gold thing.
It is comedy gold. Gold.
I think that's it's either going to be just a recurring gag that comes up multiple times, or it's actually going to get him in trouble at one point. He's going to forget that he's supposed to be eating vegan in front of people, and that's going to be a problem.
Because they've done throughout the whole series, Dexter has always eaten a lot, but all through Original Sin and all through this season, they've made a point of talking about his food habits. Yeah. And so you might be right. Yeah.
Absolutely. So
we got to talk about Angel real quick. There's just a quick scene where Angel goes to talk to Lance, And Lance is like, "Oh, I bought it from, Harrison." He's like, "Harrison Morgan?" And
The
I,
truck. The truck.
yeah, the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody's not aware. And so I'm wondering, and maybe you can answer this. Did Angel not know that Harrison was around? Like, didn't he know that Harrison had been in Iron Lake and stuff? Or
I think he knew that Harrison was in Iron Lake, but he disappeared after the shooting, and
yeah,
nobody knew where he went.
mm,
But I don't think it was clear. I don't think it was clear that he was in possession of the truck. I could
okay,
be wrong about that.
yeah,
Um, but I think when he found out that Dexter was alive, he probably assumed that Dexter still had the truck
right,
somehow.
right.
Um, but still, I don't think he was immediately like assuming that Harrison was also wrapped up in
In
all of
all
this.
this, yeah,
Um, but yeah, that was a bit of a shocking revelation for Batista,
yeah.
which leads to a really incredible scene a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah,
what
so we find
one of the best. Like, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Angel finally makes his first move, like his first actual move
Yeah,
towards taking down Dexter, and that is he tracks down Harrison and does that thing that detectives do where they lure you into a false sense of security. They make you feel like they're your friend
right,
when they're really there to like ask probing questions um, and seeing the kind of Harrison at first doesn't realize he's being interrogated.
right.
He kind of remembers Batista. He remembers he talks about the train set or
Yep.
the train set that he gifted him for his like for Christmas when he was 4 or something, and he's like, "Oh, I remember that. I loved that." And
Jamie is a principal now of the
yeah, he talks
school.
about Jamie. It gave us a little closure on Jamie, which was
Yeah,
nice. Um, so yeah, he's 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 thinking he's catching up with an old friend, kind of,
right.
and then there's that turning point where he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, your father didn't turn out to be the person you thought he was. I had a very similar experience." And he's like, "With your father?" He's like, "No, with yours." And I was like,
Yeah. Ooh.
"Ah!"
Yeah, that was the
Oh,
moment.
and that was the moment Harrison realized, "Oh fuck, this is not what I thought it was."
Right.
And everything from that point forward is just like just pins and needles, like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
And I was like,
I was on the edge of my seat.
Harrison is fucked and Angel is not fucking around."
Right. And he knows uh like Angel knows that Harrison is bullshitting him, and he also does an interesting thing where he doesn't tell Harrison that Dexter is alive. There's
Yeah.
a key moment where Angel is assuming that Harrison knows that Dexter is alive, and then when Harrison says, "Yeah, it's a shame what happened to him. It sucks that he passed away," and Angel's like, "Oh yeah, it does suck," and
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss. It's like,
He's
oh,
keeping
Angel,
he's keeping
ooh,
it close to the vest because
yes,
and you see this all the time in like uh procedural dramas and stuff like cop procedurals. It's kind of like when you have a vital piece of information like that you know that you know your target doesn't know, is you
right,
hold that, you keep that to yourself until you'll know the moment that it
yeah,
becomes uh you know
and
an
and he's said in interviews, I forget the actor's name, but
David Zayas.
for Angel,
Yeah, David Zayas.
David Zayas, thank you.
Mhm.
Uh, he's been in interviews and specifically said that phrase, Angel is keeping stuff close to the chest on this go
Mhm.
around.
One
Um,
thing I forgot, this is just a quick aside,
uh-huh.
because I went to that panel in New York,
Yeah, yeah.
and I had heard this before. I completely forgot it was a fact, but David Zayas used to be an NYPD
Hmm.
police officer, which I think is really cool.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Um, just really interesting. I was like, oh shit, you're right. And so like, not only is he playing a cop again, he's playing a cop in New York City where he was actually a
Yeah.
police officer. Like that's
Did
crazy.
did he draw any parallels when he was talking at the convention? Like, did
Yeah,
he talk about what
I
it was like?
yeah, I think he talked about kind of some. I don't remember explicitly what he said. The panel is
Yeah.
actually available now if anybody wants to watch it. It's up there. Um,
Ooh, I'll have to go check it out.
But yeah, he talks a little bit about kind of like what he pulled from real life and some of the parallels he's drawing with the story they're telling in New York City now, because I mean, New York City is a very unique place. So like
Yeah.
having been a police officer here, he's like, I'm constantly seeing the influence.
Right.
Um, but yeah,
Okay.
great stuff. And there's actually two kind of interrogation moments, I guess, because you have the
Yes.
first one, and
But
then
real quick, in between them, the fucking girlfriend, what's her name, Elsa?
Elsa,
She tells Angel, she's like, "Hey, Harrison had nothing to do with that murder." And Angel's like, "What murder are you talking about?" She's like, "The guy that was chopped up into 9 pieces." I was like, "Fucking Christ,
I
you've
I
got
I
to be
really
kidding me."
I really like Elsa, but it's become hilarious that she's so innocent, and
Ditzy.
she's so, I don't even know if ditzy's the right word. She sees the good in people, and she thinks
Yeah.
Harrison is a really good guy, and I mean, I think he probably is, technically
Yeah.
speaking, but
Yeah.
like she doesn't think he's capable of anything like that. So
Right.
she's coming to his defense, and she's tired of
Oh,
seeing all these
God.
cops interrogate him, and she thinks
Yeah.
she's doing him a solid, and she's really just stirring the pot, and it's
L-
kind of becoming comical. Um,
Listen, kids, anybody watching, don't fucking talk to the cops. No matter
yeah,
what situation you're in, it never is good for you to talk to the
yeah,
cops. It's
or
never.
others.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's,
God.
unless you have a lawyer present,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Just don't do
Oh
it.
my God.
Don't volunteer it. Right?
Yeah. Don't
Don't volun
volunteer anything.
don't volunteer information. You don't have to. But anyways, that's she's not very street smart in that sense, and she thinks
Sure.
she's helping him, and I think that's very touching and endearing. But it gets him fucking in trouble. And
Yep.
we have the second interrogation scene later when
Yes.
they meet for coffee. I have yet to rewatch the scene. I'm kind of like working my way through the episode as I write my review.
Sure.
But it is a doozy.
It is a doozy. Do we want to go to that, or do we want to because I think it happens after the kill room. So do we want to talk
Mm.
about a couple
Yeah,
things and then move to that real quick?
yeah. We can talk about the kill room for sure.
Uh Real quick, Harrison does get turned down by Elsa. And that is
Mm.
such a. I was like, he was about to go in for the kiss. I'm like, Harrison, don't do it. She's not ready. She's not ready. Don't do it, Harrison. Don't do it, Harrison. And he
You know what I was
fucking,
thinking?
huh?
I was thinking I was like, does it have is this about she's not ready, or is this about the age thing? I don't know, because I don't know how old she is, but I know how old Harrison is.
Yeah, I think.
I mean,
I
if
think
she's like
she
17 or 18, whatever. But like,
I think she could get there. I think she could get there. I just think that she wasn't quite ready. He had only been over to her place. I mean, he's been over to her place, but he's only
yeah,
slept over there a couple times. And she keeps offering him the couch.
yeah.
And if she offers the couch, take the couch and then see if, it develops from there. But
I mean, I
like,
think he thought I was developing from there, and he was like, "This is my opening,"
this is
and
my moment.
he
Oh,
misread it.
yeah.
Um, Only reason I keep
Such a
bringing up the
bummer.
age thing is because they haven't said much specifically about how old Elsa is. All we know is she
Right.
has a child,
Yeah. And she has
and
her own apartment.
which kind of suggests that she's like, I mean, she could be like 17 or 18,
Yeah.
maybe 19,
Yeah.
depending on her situation. I don't know, but all I know is that Harrison is supposed to be like 16. You can maybe fudge it a little bit, maybe say he's 17, maybe.
I I
Um,
think I think that they are the writers and showrunners and everything. I think they are kind of hand waving away his age in favor of the storytelling, and I'm fine with that.
I mean, I'm fine with it too, because I mean, clearly he's a young man and she's a
Yeah,
young woman,
right.
and there are obviously situations where young women have children very
Yeah,
young, and maybe
sure.
that's what the case is here. Um, they look like they're about the same age, so I guess that's really all that matters.
I
But
I think I think the big thing that points to her age is she has her own apartment. Like
yeah,
she has her own space that she rents. So she's got to be
yeah,
at least 18.
yeah. But hey,
Anyways.
That's neither here nor there. But yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
We get some scenes with Mia. Dexter goes on a run with her, and he tells her that, or I can't remember if he tells her this or if he's thinking about it in his head. He basically says he almost stabbed a kid at a basketball court and Harry stopped him. And all I could think was, man, too bad we didn't get that in Original Sin.
No, we got it in the original series.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, that was a flashback in the original series.
Okay. I am forgetting it then.
I think it's in season 2.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything with Mia, she's very flirty, very like forward, which they have
She gives
great
her backstory.
She gives her backstory, yeah.
Talks about her sister she got out of her house because her mom's boyfriend was coming on to her and creeping her out. So she got out of there, but her sister didn't, and she came back and found out that her sister was being abused, so she killed him.
Right. Yep.
And killer was born.
But so what I think is interesting is that she's not on a revenge quest necessarily. She does have a dark passenger that brought itself up before any of this like vigilante kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like I was wondering if, she was going to be maybe she's not like a psychopath, and maybe this is just like a revenge thing for her, is like going and being like a vigilante and killing all of these creepy guys. But from what she said, it sounds like she did have the urge. Like it sounded like she, just like Dexter, like she had the urge and then turned it into a code. Did you get the same?
I got kind of that vibe, and I bet if they were to elaborate on that, like they're saving it for her having her spinoff and like really fleshing that out. But yeah, I don't think she's necessarily a psychopath. She doesn't strike me as a psychopath, but maybe she's.
I don't know. She talked about the urge. She talked about the, she talked about how it'll well up every now and then. It'll build up until she lets it out. Because she
did say that.
Because she was talking about the first person that she didn't kill, but she was messing with him, was this guy. She said he just annoyed me. Like he wasn't like a bad guy or anything. He just annoyed me. And so she beat the shit out of him and put thumbtacks in his face or something.
And then she found it almost sounds like she channeled her urges herself without like guidance from someone like Harry. She just realized I can just take out people who are assholes.
We're bad. Yeah.
Interesting. It'll be interesting. I'm really hoping. I hope to learn more about her character and see where that goes. Whether it's in Resurrection or a spinoff or whatever. I'm here for it. I like it.
Right. We get the thing with Lowell. They meet at the
bar for happy
the bar.
Hour.
Yeah. And Lowell, I smiled. Lowell said, "Tonight's the night."
Yeah, I was
tonight's the night, baby.
It's like stealing his lines.
Everyone's taking shit from Dexter. It's like, is nothing original?
or is Dexter realizing that he's not as original as he thought he was? Like,
correct.
He's like, shit. I thought I was unique. Maybe I'm just another one of these fools. Damn.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, he's watching the girl get her tattoo, and man, Lowell just came off. I mean, all these guys are, but Lowell came off real creepy. I was just like, man, that is
it's gross, and it was really it was a really unique idea to have him like, obsess over tattoos to the point where it's like he kills people literally so he could steal their tattoos. Like he just and I thought it was kind of funny that like he was like, "This is my next tattoo. This is my next piece," and he's like puts it up on the thing, and it's like it's a dog.
It's a dog.
It's like a portrait of her dog. She's getting tattooed on her body, but he's like, "This is the one." I was like, "Okay, all right."
What a weird.
You do you, boo. Whatever. But you also learn that his you learn this when I guess he tells him in the bar. He says that his day job is he's an anesthesiologist, and that's how he fucking he takes a literal tank of anesthesia and
Yeah.
like, you know,
Knocks him out, like holds
knocks
the
him out.
mask up to him.
Yeah, which is
That's
ugh.
pretty creative. Pretty creative.
Yeah.
And I wish we had gotten more of his backstory, like why does he take tattoo? Like where did
Yeah.
that stem from? I wish we had gotten that a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's just kind of a byproduct of this is obviously a very bold concept, and there's a lot going on, a lot of
Yes.
characters, a lot of moving parts, and it's only a 10 episode season, so like,
Right.
you know, some
Yep.
characters are going to last longer than others, and you're not going to really get to know many of them.
Yep.
But I think we'll get that with at least the Gemini Killer and probably Mia.
Yeah.
And I think we'll probably get to know Al a little bit better too before he
Yeah.
bites the
Probably.
dust.
Yeah, that's a really specific thing, like the ponytail thing. Very Trinity in nature a little bit. But one thing I really liked about the I guess writing, just the way that this all worked out, is Dexter specifically says that he doesn't have his tools and that he's worried that Lowell is, he's going to go kill this girl in like a couple hours.
He's like, I can't. He's like, I have to make it back to my place to get my tools. And
that was so funny.
He uses the app and he's like, fuck, that's like a 2-hour thing.
Yep.
And he's like, fucking Manhattan. Like,
yep.
Like,
yep. Super funny.
Yeah.
And I love that, Dexter has always been pretty good about showing and not telling, if that makes sense. Like, showing, not telling us, like, Dexter working all of this out, like, oh, well, I could just use his tools. But it shows Dexter saying, fuck, I don't have my tools. And you're wondering what he's going to do. And then next thing you know, Lowell is like behind this chick and he's about to hit her with the mask and everything. And Dexter comes up and takes the mask from him and puts it on, Lowell. And then he like gets him to the kill room and then he's like, yeah, Lowell's got all his own tools, and he pulls out the knife and everything. And as a viewer,
you can knife, by the way.
Yeah, it was a wicked knife. And as a viewer, I just think it was a really smart scene because it didn't have to show you Dexter's thought process. You as the viewer can put two and two together that he was panicking about not having his tools, and then all of a sudden he had a light bulb moment and he's like, oh, I could just use his own tools against him.
And I think it's kind of the same thing from episode 3 where we talked about the metal thing he put around his neck. They didn't expressly tell you what he was thinking. They just kind of hinted at it, and then they let you kind of like piece it together, and you kind of figure it out whenever you figure it out.
Right.
They've been really good at that so far this season. But also, I think this is really interesting because we just came off of Original Sin, where we have Dexter literally at his youngest, most inexperienced age doing all this, and he was struggling, and like he wasn't quite as good at thinking on his feet. He was sloppier, and fast forward, 30 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he's so like very little like throws him off. Like he's like he can improvise the drop of a hat.
Right.
And I think it's a really cool. That's why I'm really excited that we have these two shows operating
back to back.
Back to back at opposite ends of the timeline. Because they're just two different versions of the character and you get to constantly draw those comparisons. So very, very cool stuff here.
Yeah, very good, very good. So yeah, he gets him using his own mask. When Lowell wakes up and realizes that it's Dexter, he's just like, "What the fuck?" Like,
yeah,
just the look on his face is like, "You?" Like, oh man,
yeah,
it's so good.
This is actually a really important scene. This scene is maybe the most indicative of, like, we talk a lot about his new lease on life, or his new mentality that he's been kind of rolling with. And because this is the first time in the entire series that he has kind of like willingly and openly embraced his moniker, his nickname, the Bay Harbor Butcher.
Yes.
Like usually he's like, I fucking hate that name. I wish people would stop using it, or God, that's,
now he takes ownership of it.
He takes ownership of it. Like he's he's like, I'll tell you one thing. I'm not Ronald Schmidt. He's like, I'm Dexter Morgan. Who's that? I'm the Bay Harbor
Bay Harbor
Butcher. And I was
Butcher.
like, he just fucking called himself the Bay Harbor. He
Oh,
introduced himself as the Bay Harbor Butcher. And that is crazy.
that is crazy. Has he ever done that before?
No, I feel like, he's acknowledged that other people call him the Butcher. Like, I
Right.
remember when Dokes, he's like, "You're the Bay Harbor Butcher," and he's like, "I really hate that name." Like, he's not a fan of it. He doesn't like it
Yeah.
when people use it.
Right.
But now he's like, "Fuck it,
Yeah.
that's
I'm the
me."
Bay Harbor
Like,
Butcher.
I'm
Yep.
the Bay Harbor Butcher. That's
Yep.
you're the tattoo collector. I'm the Bay Harbor Butcher. Fuck it.
Right.
And
Fuck it.
there was this immediate like recognition, and
Yeah.
we talked about it before, but like when he says I'm the Bay Harbor Butcher, and you have that like 1
Fuck.
second where he's like fuck, and he has the realization, and Dexter doesn't even give him time to like process it. He drives the knife in, and that's just a hint of what it's gonna be like when like Leon figures it out, or Charlie figures it out. It's just like
it's so good. It's so good. We're in for such a ride this season.
I talked about not being a huge fan of the kill scene with Red. Not that I didn't like it, but not my favorite.
Yeah.
This was kind of the total opposite. I think this was a brilliantly
this was brilliant. It was so good.
And
there was multiple things throughout the scene. There was the head tap. There was him like putting his hand on Lowell's heart. There was my
favorite little detail was?
My
favorite little detail in this scene, because it's a kill room set up in a tattoo shop, and a tattoo parlor, and he's on the little the rolly chair for the tattoo artist, and he's like he's like sitting at the table, like taking out the knife or whatever, and then he like pushes away from the table and like slides and spins kind of over to the table.
Yes.
And I was like, that reminds me of my actual tattoo artist. Like, I've seen him
do that.
Yeah. Like when they're like setting their own stuff up or whatever, and then they kind of like push themselves and like roll over to where the person is to do the tattoo. I was like, I was like, this is like grounded. Like it was like the first time in a long time where I feel like the choice of kill room backdrop.
They really think about this stuff. They really think about it.
My favorite kill scenes are the ones where like the environment kind of influences his like personality and behavior in the moment, and this was one of those scenes.
So good. And I loved when he asked him, well, first there's such a great quote when he wakes up and he's like, well, you were right about one thing. Tonight's the night, baby. And like I just love he like kind of mocking him. It's so funny.
It's always good when Dexter mocks his victim.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Matt Caldwell, where he does like
oh yeah. So good. Then he asked Lowell, I love this moment where he's like, real quick, I gotta ask, like, why skins? Like, why do you keep the skins? And Lowell explains how it makes him feel when he looks at the skins, and it keeps the darkness down for a little bit longer, and it keeps him from messing up as often and all that kind of stuff. And that's exactly what Dexter's blood slides were for him. So there's a lot of connective tissue that I really liked.
Which inspires him to actually create a blood slide again.
Dude.
In the moment, which was a huge deal.
Amazing was that? Because he cut his cheek, and I was like, well, he doesn't have any blood slides. And then, like, Lowell wakes up from the pain or whatever, and then Dexter's like, you know what? And he goes over to a frame, and he like pulls the glass out of it and snaps it, and he like makes his own blood slide. And it was so great, because as he was doing it, I was thinking, well, Lowell knows what his trophies are. He knows that it's the ID cards, or maybe he doesn't, but it's certainly weird. It's certainly unique. And Lowell was like, well, that's what your trophy is? That's pretty stupid for someone that cuts people's heads off. And I loved how that just so cleanly led into, I was like, is he going to do it? Is he going to tell him that he's not Red? Like, is he going to tell him? And then he did. It was, chef's kiss. It was so good.
I also think I think he's going to start taking blood slides again. I think
yeah, for sure.
I think this is the beginning. He's like, again, he's just like, I'm not going
I'm
to avoid it
back.
anymore. I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
good
good.
stuff.
There's a quote, "What if Harrison would rather I stay dead? I don't get scared, but that scares the shit out of me." He's talking to Harry, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the back and forth with Harry and Dexter this season. It's way more prevalent and polished. Um, and, he's throwing Lowell in the fire, and Harry's like, well, what are you going to do when they're going to suspect you that, you're the new guy. They're going to suspect that you killed Lowell. And Dexter turns to him. He's like, weren't you the one who told me to kill Lowell? And it's so
Yeah.
funny that he's having this argument because it's all in his head.
Yeah.
It's I love the new back and forth with them
Yeah.
so much.
Very cool.
But yeah, Dexter is going to be the obvious suspect. I'm really curious on how he maneuvers that, or maybe he'll make it look like Lowell ran away, or like a job had gone wrong, or a murder had gone
I
wrong.
think Charlie's going to have to investigate.
Yeah, for sure. All right, take us to the end and talk to us about Angel's, his final talk with Harrison here, because it is a doozy, and it wraps us up.
Yeah, it's an intense conversation. Again, I haven't rewatched that scene just yet, but you included a few quotes here that I think are important. He's trying to remind. He's alluding to the fact that he knows more than Harrison thinks he knows. He's kind of put the pieces together himself. He realizes that.
Yeah.
He's alluding to the fact that he thinks that he killed the guy in the hotel, and that he learned how to do it from his father.
Yep.
And he says, this is a dark path you're going down, and I truly hope that you don't become like your dad, which one tells us that Angel has fully bought in now.
Yeah.
To the theory that Dexter is the Bay Harbor Butcher. Like, he is
right.
He is like, I don't think there's any doubt at this point.
Especially after talking to Claudia, I'm sure he sat down with her and told her all the information he has, and maybe she put pieces together that he never did.
I mean, she kind of walked Harrison through her theory of the crime. She was dead on, so she told that information to Angel, and then Angel put that together with what Angela told him and the circumstances of Dexter fleeing the clinic or whatever. Like, it all adds up to, holy fucking shit, LaGuerta was right. He is the butcher. So yeah, the pretense has been dropped, and that kind of sends Harrison spiraling.
Yeah.
He doesn't yet. He continues to keep the information close to his chest that Dexter's still alive. But Harrison wanders away, and he's clearly tormented by the ticking watch, and he's starting to feel the guilt and feeling the walls closing in on him. So the implication here is that he kind of like wanders off and finds himself standing in front of the police department.
Right.
And the implication
after
is,
trying to call them.
Yeah, after trying to call them. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So the implication is that he is about to walk in and confess. And
that
is the moment that Dexter
reveals himself.
And that's what the episode ends.
My God.
Which is a hell of a moment. There was actually a really interesting theory that I was really buying into that is, at this point, has been disproven. They released the promo for next week, and it immediately throws this theory away. But I thought it was really interesting because I was like, I had the exact same thought when I saw that. I was like, is that real, or is Harrison starting to talk to his dad the way Dexter talks to his dad? Because like there was no mention of like Dexter thinking about like, okay, I'm ready, I'm gonna go reintroduce myself to him. But like, you could, in the moment of crisis, like maybe that's what triggered that moment, and Harrison is like suddenly having these conversations with his dead father.
Right.
What would you do in this situation, kind of thing. But no, I'm pretty sure it's real.
Okay. Yeah. And he says, doesn't he say, he says something really quick, like, don't do it, Harrison, or you don't want to do that, or something like that.
Yeah. And then Harrison turns around, and he has this shocked look on his face, and boom.
Dad?
What a way to end the episode.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh my God.
I honestly thought this moment was going to take longer to get to. I thought it was going to be like
same.
episode 7 or 8 or something when they finally came back together.
Yeah.
So this episode for me anyways, I think kind of like marks kind of the end of where I thought I had everything kind of figured out.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
I don't know at this point.
What the
I
hell
mean,
is going
I
on?
have ideas, I have theories. They seem very like kind of loosely just based on what's happened prior, but like I don't have before. Like I feel like I kind of had episode 1 through 4 kind of pegged
Yeah.
before it even started.
Yeah.
It was still a great ride, and I was still constantly in shock and in awe. Like my jaw was on the floor the entire episode, even
Yeah.
though I was like I knew all this stuff was coming
Yeah.
in some form, but like seeing it play out on screen, I was like, holy shit! It kind of blew past all my expectations. But now
Yeah.
I'm like, we are in uncharted waters. I have no fucking clue what the next
Well,
episode looks like.
I think there I mean there's a couple things. I know we got to go, but there's a couple things that I think are really important from the past couple scenes at the end there where Angel says he's talking about all the people that Dexter has gotten killed. He says, your Aunt Deb, your mother. And so
Yeah.
Harrison now knows that it was because of something Dexter did.
Which we'd think
And
he had already kind of like pieced that together, right?
had he?
Like at the end of New Blood, before he shoots him, he was like, "Would my mother even be alive if it weren't for you?"
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
he like that was the whole impetus for him like
That's right.
shooting him in the first place. He's like, "You killed
Right.
Logan. How many people would be alive? Would my
Yeah.
Aunt Deb be alive? Would my mother be alive if it weren't for you?" That was
Yeah,
kind of the
that's
whole
true.
driving force. But
That's
like to
true.
hear somebody else say it
Yeah.
out loud
Confirms.
confirms. But we also know that at this point in the show, Harrison is lost and
Yes.
feels alone. And I can only imagine because like you would have to think that somehow they're going to get past this. Like they're going to come back together, and they're even though their relationship is strained, like they're going to like
Well,
their relationship is going to have to like reform in some fashion, right?
Well, there's a moment at the end where I almost feel like Harrison kind of turns a corner because he's walking up to the police station and he's getting all these flashbacks of Dexter saying, "Don't get caught. Cut the body into 9 pieces." And
Yeah,
then he says, he's like, if anybody ever found out about me, I'd get the death penalty. And Harrison says, well, maybe you deserve it. And then it shows him with the gun and he's, shooting his father. And then it flashes forward a little bit to, he says, well, maybe you deserve it. And then it shows Harrison smashing Ryan with the back of
yeah,
the seat. And so I'm kind of like, maybe Harrison is finally kind of understanding his dad a little bit more, where he's like, you should get the death penalty. But
yeah,
then he thinks back, he's like, well, but I killed Ryan for a noble reason,
yeah.
like maybe my dad isn't as, like
Evil as
yeah,
maybe, yeah. I mean, I think that's all. I think that's all accurate. I think that's where we're going. I think it's inevitable that their relationship is going to heal to an extent. And like the big question was, how do you come back from that after New Blood?
right,
And I think they've done a kind of a masterful job of like navigating their way to this point. The question is, how do
yeah,
they go forward? And I
right.
can't just seeing all the circumstances playing out. He is lost. He's alone. He's guilt ridden. Um,
I mean,
and
he showed up. He showed up at Elsa's house, and the thing that he said is, "I just need to be around a friend." And so that
yeah,
kind of shows you the mental space that he's in, right? He's
so
lonely.
yeah,
He's by
so
himself.
my question is, or my theory, I suppose, is that like, despite the fact that that whole circumstances of him shooting his father seems like the kind of thing that you wouldn't be able to come back from, the
Yeah.
circumstances, the place where he's at now, seeing his father alive is going to be an incredible relief. He's going to
Yes.
realize I didn't kill my father. I don't need to
Yeah.
feel guilty about that anymore. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get out of this. And I found the one person in the world who
Who
probably can do it,
knows?
who
Yeah.
knows how to do it. And that is going to overshadow the anger, the complicated feelings that he had about his father that led him to shoot him in the first place.
Right.
And I think the challenging thing about this series, this season, was how do we get them to a point where we can continue their story together that
Yeah.
makes sense? And
Right.
now that we're here, I think it makes sense.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
I was really skeptical that they would be able to do that in a way that felt genuine and felt
Yeah.
believable. And I mean, we still
Yeah.
need to see what plays out immediately next,
Yeah.
but I am on board
Yeah. It
at this
it
point.
feels it feels really good. Like when Dexter showed up, I was like, that was the right time. It felt right. It felt true. It felt, believable. So I'm on board for it
Yeah.
as well. As we go into final thoughts here, we wrap up. Angel has to die, right? Angel's got to die.
Everybody
He,
thinks that. I think maybe eventually. I don't know if it's this season.
because
I mean,
he's like Dexter has his name back. He's using his name in New York City. He's gonna be tracked down.
yeah, I mean, but I think that is the show. I think the cat and mouse, the conflict there is like a major component
They're
of the show.
they're really leaning into it after all of the bitching that people did about
Yeah.
them not having a standoff in
But I
New
don't
Blood.
think that I think that standoff that we're all waiting for is not going to happen until like episode 9 or 10. And if
Oh,
you kill
sure.
him off at the end of the season, it's still gonna feel like it wasn't enough. I feel like.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I mean, if he's going to die, I mean, it could happen in the finale, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if they're going to save that for later, and they're
Yeah.
going to continue leaning on this. There's also the possibility that somehow, well, no, I don't. I was like, somehow he's going to like convince Batista to like back off,
Yeah.
but I find that kind of hard to believe.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. David Zayas is a series regular, or he's credited
Yeah.
as a series regular, but that could also just be a misnomer to like throw people off.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
So
know. My other theory was that maybe that remember we talked about Leon wanting to kill someone himself.
yeah.
Like, what if somehow that ends up being Batista, and
Oh.
that's what
Yeah.
ends up
Right.
earning him his spot on the kill table?
Right.
Which I
Could
get it.
be.
I like it if that's what happens. If that's
Yep.
how they're gonna do it. But
Yep.
I don't know, man. Anything could happen.
Yep.
Anything could happen at this point.
So, lastly, Dexter is presented with a kind of unique challenge from Prater. He has to give a presentation the next time they meet.
Oh yeah.
What do you think his presentation is going to be?
Well, he has to. The real challenge there is he's supposed to tell him what it's
He's supposed
like.
to be red.
He's supposed to tell him what it feels like to saw somebody's head off, and Dexter is like,
That's not my MO.
he's like, I mean, I saw people's heads off, but they're already dead.
Right.
Like he's like, I don't viciously saw living people's heads off.
Right.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I have no idea how he's gonna get out.
It's going to be super interesting.
Yeah, that's where we are. That's it. That was a doozy.
Yep, that was a doozy. Man, well, here we are at the end. Thanks for hanging in there and doing this episode with me. And if you wanna just go episode by episode, that's perfectly fine with me. If you don't want to do 2 in a row, that's totally fine.
I mean, 2 in a row is usually fine. This week was just a really
busy,
huge episode.
And, yeah, it was a doozy.
And my weekend got kind of cut short, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so
for
just
sure.
a lot going on.
Yep.
Yep. But yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all of your insight into Dexter. You come up with so many things that I don't even think of. So I really appreciate you hanging out.
I'm always here to talk about Dexter. It's always a pleasure.
All right, well, our deliberately destructive Dexterites, that is where we are going to end the night tonight. We will be back with some more Dexter. I don't know, Nick and I will talk and we'll figure out if we want to do a 1-episode one for the next one, or maybe we'll be back in a couple weeks and do 2 episodes. We'll figure it out and we'll let you guys know. But yeah, it looks like we had a couple people hop in for the for the live stream tonight. I've been watching the view counter, and it looks like a few people are in here watching. So thanks for being here live. And if you're watching this later, thank you so much for watching it later. I appreciate that. And let us know down in the comments any of your big, Dexter resurrection theories, or
Ooh,
if you have any, thoughts on Original Sin. What did you have something?
I'm just gonna interject. I started a Discord server for Dexter Daily,
Yes,
and I'm
I.
managing it. It's not like the most active thing right now. We have about like 200 and something people in there at the moment. But if you're
Mhm.
interested and you want a place to go and just talk about things as they come to your mind, or just nerd out about Dexter,
Yeah.
there's that. I'll send you the link later. It's also on
I
DexterDaily.com. So
I actually, when I made this live stream, I copied the description from last week, so it's in here. It's in
awesome.
the link to the Discord is in the description. So I heartily recommend clicking on that and getting into a group of fellow Dexter lovers.
A lot of
Um,
Dexter nerds in there.
Yep, yep. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. And yeah, let us know in the comments any of your Dexter theories, all that good stuff. Links to our socials are down there, Twitter, Fantasy Files Discord. And then our Patreon as well. And then Nick's links to his 4-player podcast, as well as the Dexter Daily and his Discord is over there where you can talk Dexter, as we just said. So definitely go check all of those things out. But with that, we are going to wrap up for tonight. It's been a super long one. I do want to get Dexter Unwrapped back for one of these episodes. So maybe I'll send them a message and see if they can come on
Sweet.
for one of the future episodes. But with that, guys, it's been a long one. We're gonna get out of here. Thank you so much for hanging with us and watching tonight or watching later or whatever you're doing. We will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.
Sweet. I'm going to bed.